Good. Are we live? Is we live, baby? Hey guys, what's up? Look at me, ripping George Mason. What's up, everybody? What's up? It's Marlene. I haven't seen you guys all week like that. Child. She's been busy. I got two phones, boo boo. I have two phones. What's up, everybody? What's up? What's up? It's Marlene. Want to come talk to y'all. It's been a minute. I got a new phone. I got the new iPhone 12. Oh, look, there are 12 people. That's what's up. So, you guys, let's talk about this, right? It's been happening on the internet. It's been happening on social media. You know, I'll be in the streets. I'm in the streets. Hey, Cena, I'll be in the streets. This mirror, we're remaking this mirror. That's like, hey, Dawn, what's up? What's up, Dawn? Did I tell you where we're making the prototype for this mirror? I can't wait to use it. Bantu, what's up? Mimi, what's up? So, y'all, the aunties. Hey, Scorpion. When I tell you the aunties have been fighting, so it was like the Bill Cosby situation, how all the aunties fighting. I think it was like Felicia Rashad against all of them. Okay. They all came out against her. Crazy. That was crazy. One thing I wish people would understand sometimes, right? Like, even if you think someone is not standing on the right side of history or they're not making the right judgment call, take it easy, right? Take it easy, like bum rushing people, insulting people, shaming people, being condescending against people, cussing them out. It is not going to make people take a step back to be like, okay, you know what? Where could I be wrong? Or maybe where could I have a better approach? You know what I'm saying? We got to stop shaming people into thinking the way we want them to think. Like, people have the right to be wrong. You know what I mean? And a lot of times it's perception. It's perception. I'm dead ass. Like, a lot of time it's perception. You know what I mean? So you got to ease out. Like, even with like Jenna Hubert, she's like, oh, Felicia Rashad, I don't know you, but how dare you? Then if you don't know her, then how dare you? I'm so confused. I'm like, so if you don't know her, then how can you make a judgment call on her judgment when you don't know her? You know what I'm saying? Or how about you get to know her? I'm like, all you ladies like who've been like famous at the same time, like, you can't get each other's numbers and like call each other up and then go have a conversation behind the scene. Like, you have to come argue like this in front of the kids. I mean, it's just weird to me. It's just weird. It's just so, I don't know. We've gotten so comfortable, him Ryan, we've gotten so comfortable with being slanderous, ratchet, loud, ghetto, aggressive. Oh, people are so aggressive, self-righteous, like a whole bunch of venomous snakes. I don't like that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, life to me is like a prison. Like, life is like, it's multifaceted. And sometimes based on where you're standing, if you might look like you're right, and then to another person might look like they're wrong. We got to learn to have some kind of mercy and like speak to each other in a merciful way. But it's like people are just so ready to cut you to the white meat, so ready to read, so ready to shade, so ready to, it's just like, gosh, like, dang. You know what I mean? Like, it just gives you like anxiety, like aversions about like, do I really want to deal with these kinds of people? And unfortunately, they look like your own people, so it's kind of hard. But it's like, just chill. And sometimes, honestly, while you're wasting your time trying to be, while you're wasting your time judging somebody, being condemning to someone, thinking that you know it all, you might want to pray for yourself. You might want to pray for yourself, because you don't know how many times you thought you were right that you could have been wrong. You know what I mean? You might want to pray for yourself. We all need to pray for ourselves. And I think sometimes like we're just so busy judging other people, condemning other people because their sins are not our sins, that you felt to look at yourself and say, yo, how can I be a better person? Or how am I going to make sure that I'm not that person? How am I going to make sure that I don't inflict pain on another person? You know what I mean? Violence only gets more violence. It doesn't solve the problem. You know what I mean? Because this whole Bill Cosby thing, like, it's way bigger than Bill Cosby. It's a mindset. It's a mindset that people with money, especially men with money, can just do whatever they want. It's a mindset. It's bigger than him. Just like Trump. People trying to make it seem like Trump was like the reason why America was racist. No, racism is way bigger than Trump. He's like a small player. Like, it's like racism. It's a mindset. You take out Trump, it still exists. You can go and kill 25,000 Trumps. It's still going to exist because it's a mindset. Hey, Christine, it's a mindset. And it's like this whole notion of like, oh, a rich man can do whatever he wants to do and get away with it. It's not even just in terms of sex, right? Even in today's society, if you're really famous, nobody holds you accountable. You know what I mean? Nobody holds you accountable. Famous people get away with so much stuff. Lying, scamming, fraud, taking people for sex, molestation, you know what I mean? Promising jobs, not paying folks. You know what I mean? We like this. This is how the stuff is in capitalism, right? Where rich people are never held accountable. So it's like it's a whole psychology, right? And people play right into it. Because when you love someone, you look the other way. Then when you don't like them, you want them to be burned at the stake. But a few days ago, when you liked them, you didn't have an issue with what they were doing. It's people who empower people to become evil. We give people the platform and the privilege and the grace and the whatever to become these monsters. Then we say, oh my gosh, how dare you become a monster? Well, this is what happens when people's egos don't get checked. So it's not just Bill Cosby. It's like it's the whole psychology, right? People don't want to hold nobody accountable. You don't want to hold Jay-Z accountable. You wouldn't hold Beyonce accountable. You're not going to hold Rihanna accountable. A lot of famous people not held accountable. But we have these low virtual signaling like, well, if it's sex, then I'm gonna hold them accountable. Okay, but it shouldn't just be sex though, right? What about pandering? You should hold people accountable for that too. You know what I'm saying? What about not being fair to Black people? You should hold people accountable for that too. But because you pick and choose what you're comfortable calling a sin, now you want to walk out here all sanctimonious and no, you're not righteous. You're not righteous. Because while you're blaming, you're trying to do this to this Bill Cosby dude, but you got your other celebrities who do also bad things though. But you're like, oh, but that's not that bad. Says who? Says who? See, that's one thing I've realized, right? With people, unless it directly affects you, yeah, you don't care. You don't care. But once you're directly affected, now you want to act like, oh, you're so righteous and you don't make mistakes and you have all the keys to the kingdom. It's like, no, you don't. There's so much injustice that goes on in the entertainment industry. There's so much injustice that goes on in politics. You know what I mean? Like, people got more energy for Bill Cosby. That man is blind, about to die. Maybe he might even die tomorrow. But you won't even have that much energy, though, for Joe Biden. And yet he promised you stuff. You see what I'm saying? Oh, yeah. Oh, no. Kevin can't handle me. You see what I mean? It's like, even in what Bill Cosby did, assuming he really intentionally drugged the people and he actually, raped a woman, assuming that's really real, assuming he really did that stuff, right? It's definitely wrong. But you see, he's not a politician. He's not an elected official. People didn't give him trust to do this. He was just a private citizen with a TV show. And y'all chose to believe in him. But he's not an elected politician. But when you look at people like Joe Biden, you look at people like Kamala Harris, who intentionally lied to people in their face. People put their trust in them. People actually elected them. You don't even hold these Democratic elected officials the way you do Bill Cosby. And this is one thing I will say about Black America. I don't know if it's just African Americans, but I'm just going to say Black America, period. One thing I have noticed in my 25 years of tenure, okay, as a Black immigrant in America, is that in America, Black people love to hold Black people to a standard they don't even hold white people to. This is crazy. Black people have all the energy to pick a Black person apart. You didn't do this. You should have done this. You should have. You did. I'm never going to support you. I'm going to cancel you. But these are the same Black people who went and voted for Joe Biden, somebody who wrote a crime bill. And the extent of that, only God knows. Like, it's not okay for any woman to be raped, abused, or molested. But if we're going to go for a body count, Joe Biden got like 2 million Black bodies on him. That crime bill is New Slavery Act. It's like reinstitutionalizing chain gangs. How many Black children, how many Black fathers, how many Black males have disappeared to the system over some marijuana for 10 years, 13, 20 years, 3 strikes, you're out. Meanwhile, Joe Biden, his son also is a crackhead, but his son gets to go to rehab. But then he sends the children of black people to prison, and you forgive him, and you vote for him. And he tells you, oh, if you don't vote for me, you're not black. You see, this is the plantation mindset. Like, it's just amazing. But you don't even hold them accountable like this. Stacey Abrams registered over 1 million people in Georgia after she lost. And no, I don't think a bunch of white Democrats came out there to support the lady. And as a thank you, what does she get? What does she get for electing a white man who couldn't even elect himself? Make it make sense. Make it make sense. You don't even hold him accountable. You don't even demand for anything. He gives you a national holiday. And you don't even have this, like all this hatred that you have for Bill Cosby, all this energy you have for Bill Cosby. Can you also have it for Joe Biden? Can you have it for the Democrats and all these politicians who've lied to black people? Can you give it to them? But I think a lot of times, maybe it's just me, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But I think a lot of times because black people in this country are really powerless, they're really powerless towards white supremacy, to be quite honest. So what they do is they manifest a sense of like success or a sense of power by oppressing each other, by holding each other even more accountable, by being so harsh with each other, by being so unforgiving with each other. Because that's how you get to have a taste of real power. You know what I mean? But you're powerless. You're powerless. Because you always have so much energy for private citizens who do dumb shit. But you never have this amount of like, I don't know, assertiveness. You'd never have this amount of exigence. You'd never have this amount of expediency. You'd never have this amount of like condemnation for politicians who came to you and told you, oh, if you vote for me, this is what I'm going to do for you. Nothing. You let Bill Clinton bamboozle you for 8 years, act like he was a fake black person in white skin, then do nothing for you but sign the crime bill. Like what Joe Biden did is criminal. It is criminal. Like, how can anybody even forget that? How can you forgive that? How can you forgive that? 3 strikes, you're out. Have you people ever read this bill? No, you don't want to read it, but you got time to know what Quaaludes is. I'm not trying to be mean or whatever, right? But it's like what Bill Cosby does or did, like, it don't affect you that much. I'm not trying to be mean. But these laws that they write, these are real. These laws have serious consequences on people. They have serious consequences on black families. They have serious consequences on black communities. They lead to more altercation with the police. What's the fact? They lead to more intervention of the police. They lead to more surveillance by the police. They lead to more it just leads to more like contentious encounters between black people and white people. And guess who loses? You gonna lose because you're black. The crime bill always puts a black person on the wrong side of the law. You lose. You never win. You lose. You never win. This man sent black people to prison for the same drug his son was on. But his son got to go to rehab. And he didn't even have mercy in his soul for black children. Like, oh, wow, I'm the father of an addict. Let me also have mercy because I know what these other parents must be. You guys, I don't understand. Like, imagine somebody like your child has cancer. So you got to take time from work all the time because you got to go take care of your kid. And then one of your employees, their child also has cancer. And then you say, oh, you got to come to work because if you don't come to work, I'm going to fire you. Oh, you're making too many claims against the insurance. But I'm like, but your son also has cancer. So you should know what it's like. No, they want you to come to work. They want you to show up. Meanwhile, they took all the time off to take care of their kid with cancer. But your kid with cancer, it don't matter. That's the same thing. You would think someone who is the parent of an addict, we're talking like crack, heroin, coke, you name it. You would think a person like that would have mercy. Mercy. Like, yo, at least I'm rich. At least I'm a politician. I can afford to send my child to a $40,000, $50,000 rehab. What about these poor people? How do they give their kids help? These are young people. Young people do dumb shit. Young people make mistakes. Should they lose their entire life because they happen to have the wrong color of the skin? Like, Joe Biden wrote an entire bill criminalizing our skin color. And you overlooked that and you went and voted for him. But he's an institutional racist. He don't have to tell you. He'll just write laws. Like, you never heard this adage that says, like, the pen is mightier than the sword. When it comes to American politics, you better believe it. No mercy. There's a man out here in Louisiana, Baton Rouge. They caught him with a marijuana, like two pieces of, two joints. I think it was like $13 street value. They gave that man 7 years. I said, Jesus, 7 years for 2 joints? But no one wants to sit here and take a proper accounting of how many Black lives were destroyed by Joe Biden and his hatred for Black people. This man hates Black people. He hates Black people. He doesn't like Black people. Because there's no, I don't even think he likes his own son, because I'm like, if you truly are a father, if you have the heart of a father, like, you should be a father to all. Like, damn, my son is going through the same thing. And if anything, maybe we should write a law and make rehab affordable. Maybe the government, maybe like Medicare should cover rehab. That's what a good person would do. That's what a good father would do. Like, yo, I have money, but what about poor people who can't afford it? Who's helping them? Who's helping these kids to recover from their addiction? You know, a lot of our young people are depressed, you know? Depression is real. Preteen, even pediatric depression, preteen depression, adolescent depression, that stuff is real. A lot of Black kids, Latino kids, they got to take care of themselves because most of them, their parents work 2-3 jobs. Because Black people, Latinos tend to be underpaid. Off the rip. And on top of that, women make less. So then be a woman and a Black woman, oh, we know you ain't making nothing. So like these parents have to work. So these kids are at home. Sometimes single families, single parent homes, single mother home. And that instability, it brings depression to children. You know what I mean? These kids, like, their brain's not even fully developed. They make mistakes. Young people make mistakes. We've all made mistakes. Like, I told y'all, I got arrested one time. Remember I told you I got arrested? You know what I mean? I told you I worked somewhere and these girls were like, they were stealing stuff. So yeah, I stole stuff too. I shouldn't have done it, but I did it. But when it came to me, I confessed because I didn't have it in me. I did. But you know what though? Like, my thing was when I took the stuff, my parents had the money. So we got an attorney. Like, it was, I mean, like, I don't even know. My mom posted bail. We got an attorney. But that attorney was expensive. Like, he was an expensive white man. My mom paid him because we had it. I was just doing dumb shit. I was just doing dumb shit. I was like, whatever. I guess everybody's doing it. Let me just do it too. You know what I'm saying? But what would have happened to Marlene, though, if my parents didn't have the money? You know what I mean? Because he negotiated it. So, because I sat there. So this is what happened, right? When we went in the first time we went in there, I think I sat there for like maybe like 5 hours, from like 7 until like midnight. I sat for 5 hours, right? But I think like they count that as like time served. Even though it's like hours, it counts as days, okay? Then like we didn't go to court until like 9 months later. By the time we went to court, he already worked out a plea deal. Girl, yes. I had to like confess that my parents had to pay like for the amount I took, right? So then, and then he put the court date kind of late during the day. It was like the afternoon time. So by the time like I got to the back, they booked me again or whatever. I probably sat there again, maybe from like 3 p.m. until like midnight. Then I was out. You know, and that was it. You see what I'm saying? But my thing though, boo-boo, imagine if my mom didn't have the money for the bail, sis, your girl would have sat in there. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe if she did have money for the bail, because it wasn't, I don't even know how much bail was. I don't even know. Because only 10%. But she paid for that too. think it was like $5. I don't know how much it was. I forgot what it was. But she paid for that. You know what I mean? And then the lawyer, but I'm like, imagine if I didn't have the lawyer. Maybe it would have, because it was a felony. And because I worked for the place, it was called embezzlement. I was like, what the heck? What is this? Yo, these are just clothes. Like, what the heck? Yo, it was embezzlement. I said embezzlement. What the freak? Yo, these are like terms like they use for these people on the Wall Street. I said, Jesus, I'm an embezzler. Oh gosh. Oh Lord. Oh my gosh. Embezzlement. It was clothes, you guys. It was like these summer dresses. I said embezzlement. Oh my gosh, you got it. It was a felony charge. A felony. Yo, do you know everything in America is a felony? Like you sneeze, everything is a felony. I said, oh Jesus, this is good. I'm going right back to Africa, right? So it was like felony, embezzlement. I said, Jesus, But like the lawyer, like he brought it down to like a misdemeanor or something, like petty theft. Then it was like, oh, days of serve. I think they tried to get like 180 days, but then it was like, 176 days are suspended plus time served. So that was it. It was like just sitting there for the detention. But I'm like, but all of that because I had an attorney. But imagine if I didn't have an attorney though. What would have happened to me? You know what happened in my life? You see? But it just goes to show you like money makes a difference. You can be, if you are a young person and you make dumb decisions and your parents have money, you don't really have to bear the brunt of your stupid decisions, right? But God forbid you be poor and black and you make dumb decisions, your life is ruined. Your life is ruined. And this is where you would hope that politicians, especially white people, no, not to be offensive, but a lot of white people, their kids are into drugs. You know what I mean? White people have a hard time raising their kids. I'm not trying to be funny here. So you would think like the heart of a parent, right, would be like, you know what? Our kids also go through issues. Our kids have issues and we love our kids and we do the best for our kids, right? Let's also extend the mercy to other parents, because raising kids is not easy. And even for young people, like navigating this whole thing sometimes in broken home, in very difficult situations, it's not easy. And then on top of that, young people just do dumb shit. You know what I mean? But it's like, do you have to like legit like ruin the life of a whole human? For some drugs? Like, is this a joke? Is this a joke? You really have to ruin somebody's life over marijuana? Like, is this a joke? Like, I can understand murder. I can understand homicide, manslaughter. But you're really going to ruin the life of young people over marijuana? Like, is this a joke? And it's like, it is. I don't know. I don't know. I don't understand this. If you take a kid, a young black kid, broken home, if both parents are incarcerated, kid grew up on foster care. Okay, he was selling drugs, maybe because he needed the money. Do you have to criminalize him at 17, 18, cause him to miss his high school graduation because he was selling drugs? Spank him a little bit. But send him to a better school. Connect him with like the Urban League. Give him mentors. Put his behind on community service. Do community service. Sit down with his counselors. Force him to increase his GPA. Why everything got to be prison in the streets? Like, I'm so confused. Like, why everything got to be prison? Why does everything have to be, let's ruin your high school years. Let's take you out so you don't get your high school diploma. Why? Why? Because he's 17 and he's selling the drug. How much is he making that is so impactful to your U.S. economy? But yeah, when all these big pharmaceutical companies are out here poisoning people, hey, what's up? The thing is dying.
This.
Your phone?
Yeah.
I think you need to return it. We gotta go to the reparations.
Reparations?
Yeah, repairs.
That's not what reparations are, Martha.
Réparation. Reparations. Fixing. It has a word could have multiple meanings, but it's the same thing.
Oh, like reparations. I gotta do with my phone.
You know what I'm saying? And it's a lack of humanity. It's a lot because and the thing is, if you don't finish your high school diploma, it becomes a lot harder to try to do the French English. It becomes a lot harder to get a GED. You know what I mean? Like it's better if they can stay in school and finish their high school diploma. Oh my God, they were called fighting. They even counseling. You know what I mean? Like it's like they're going through shit, and it's like, and this is the shit that kills me. It's like, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm not trying to be insensitive, right? But it's like Black children are legitimately dying. If they're not dying like boom boom, they're dying psychologically. They're dying academically. They're dying spiritually. They're dying emotionally, because we live in a country that doesn't give a fuck about Black children, okay? We live in a country where we elect these white politicians who don't even have a loving heart for Black children. But we want to sit here and obsess over Bill Cosby and whether he got out of jail or not. Listen. What's the point of having money like a white man if you can't behave and live like a white man? That's the whole point. That's the whole point. Y'all want equality to white people, right? There you go. You got it. You can't just pick and choose when you want to be equal to white folks. Because if a white man had Bill Cosby money, and if a white man had Bill Cosby legacy, bitch, he probably even been in jail. Okay? So assuming he got off for the technicality, bitch, that's the whole point of having money. Get you some. Stop acting like children. Because if you were also in that position, whether you did it or not, if you had the money, you want to get your ass out of there too. Okay? So be quiet. Go sit down somewhere. That's the whole point. You want equality to white folks. It means you get it. That's it. So he acting like a rich white motherfucker. And not what you want? So what's the problem? Because a white man would have walked. So I guess he's trans white. Live with it. What the fuck? Like, you don't know what you want. You want all this equality. You want this. That's when you want something, you no longer get to decide how you get it. And that's the thing people don't understand. Just like with trans women, right? When it comes to a point that they start putting trans women above biological women, you can't be mad. Because you said it's okay. We're all women. Then okay, we're all women. So if they want to start doing sports and beat the fuck out you can't cry. Because this is what you said, right? I saw a boxing match. What's up, RTE? I saw a boxing match between a trans woman and a regular woman. You guys, it's abuse. It's abuse because the other lady got beat. Like he boxed her like the person boxed like a man, not a trans woman. The girl, her skull was open. I'm like, this is insane. This is insane. This is insane. Cuckoo and Brigitte. So you like just because you say you're a trans woman, now you enter female sports and you enter boxing, but you used to train as a male boxer. Now you want to go in a ring with female, but you're going to kill him. But now everything is transphobic. So that the trans woman went ahead and almost murdered the biological woman because now even saying biology is offensive. So now look at what you're putting weaker sexes at risk of. People are going to get killed. People are going to get killed because we refuse to act like we got sense. Why? We've lived with biology for 5,000-6,000 plus years. We've done just fine. But in less than 2 days, people have decided to make biology a disgusting word, or like a word that's like anti-Semite, or a word that's like, you guys, you should see the video. It's horrible. It's horrible. Like her entire skull was broken, blood everywhere. It's a carnage. It's a carnage. Like imagine, like I'm not even trying to be funny, but imagine if Jimmy said, James is 6'7", 350 pounds. Imagine if Jimmy said he wants to become a woman and go do boxing. Jimmy will kill people. He will kill these people. Like, are you serious? You can't be like, you know what? Yeah, I'm a trans woman, but it wouldn't even be fair. And like, even take a step back. I haven't got to Tabitha's story yet. He would kill people. You know what I'm saying? He will kill. Even me, he could kill me. Like, if Jane becomes a trans woman, he cannot be treated like any other trans woman. He's huge. She will be huge. No. And you should have enough like decency to say, you know what? It wouldn't even be a fair fight. Went and beat this girl. And I'm like, this is assault. This is assault because it's horrible. It's horrible. But because now people want to make biology criminal, so here you have it. It's like you guys are like, this is like, because when you have used to be male boxers who are not winning as male boxers because they don't have a successful career like Floyd or Gervonta Davis. So they say, oh, you know what? Let me go and be a woman now so I can win in the category. You're going to become a killing machine. But they won't call it killing because, oh, you're a trans woman. But yeah, but biologically, you're still male. You cannot do these things. You're going to kill people. You're going to kill people. But people don't want to think, okay, so let's go for it. And this is what equality without sense leads to. This is exactly what happens. When we want to practice equality without sense, equality without wisdom, equality without respecting humanity, this is what's going to happen. That people are going to find themselves at a serious disadvantage. And a disadvantage that could even get people killed. Because you want to be so like politically correct, you're actually going to end up killing and harming people. Just so that you can come off as somebody who's woke. But your wokeness can be deleterious. Your wokeness can lead to harm. Not all wokeness is good. You see, and I'm not even trying to take it back to the Bible, but I can understand, like, if we go with what the Bible said about when Adam and Eve ate from the fruit, God said, oh, y'all got to get out because there was there was another tree, which was the tree of like knowledge or whatever. Like they would have known so much stuff. God's like, no, y'all got to go. And you start to understand that sometimes being too woke can be very dangerous. It can be, especially if you're not spiritually aligned, it can be very dangerous because the flesh itself is dangerous. Man by himself is a dangerous person. So if he has no spirituality, if he does not fear a higher being, and you make him super knowledgeable, he's going to be a dangerous person. Which is why these robots of the future are something that people have to be scared of. Because these are robots. They have no consciousness of what is right and what's not right, what's virtuous and what's not virtuous. If they're a god, no, they just do things like a robot. That's it. They don't care. Oh, you're a threat. Shoot. You know what I mean? And they're writing code. They write code that is racist. So it's like, not only is it like you're going to have to deal with white supremacy that's racist, but you're also going to have robots that are going to oppress you. So the humans going to oppress you and the robots will oppress you because these robots are nothing more than a sophisticated, high-performing mind. Like, mindset, subconscious of white supremacy. Loan applications denied. School applications denied. Reconsideration denied. Because these things they write code to say don't include black people. There are many ways to say black people without actually saying black people. You see what I'm saying? So it's like we got to think about these things. Like this stuff is real. It's very real. And how it's going to affect black people, it's real. But me, I want to focus on the fact that black kids are dying. Black kids are dying. Like our children are depressed. They're depressed. What kind of people you know is so obsessed with alcohol, drugs, and sex? Depressed people. People of darkness. The mind is in the darkness. Because when your mind is in the light, this is not what... You know what I mean? This is not normal. This is not normal. And this is what black people are becoming the face of. Hypersexuality. People having this conversation about Lil Nas X, oh, this and that. And it's like, isn't it funny how every time y'all talk about a black kid, it always has to revolve around his sexuality. We don't talk about black children for their education. We don't talk about black kids because they're leading in sciences. We don't talk about black kids because they're going to colleges at higher rates. We don't talk about black children because they're raising money. We don't talk about black kids because they're humanitarian. No. It's always your sexuality. Your sexuality. Then it's drugs. Then it's alcohol. That's it. It's like, damn, are we good at anything else? But this is what happens when you have young people who are depressed. They're depressed. Because when you have joy and when you love yourself and when you're happy with yourself and when you understand your purpose and your God-given calling, when you're comfortable in your skin, people think being comfortable in your skin is walking around naked. No. That's ridiculous. You know what I mean? That's not being comfortable in your skin. Walk around naked. People been done that. Like, that's nothing new. Like back in the day when clothes weren't too expensive, people had to walk around naked because they couldn't afford shit. So don't think like you're some kind of like you're a trailblazer because you walk around naked, so it means that you love yourself. Nah. I'm from Africa. People couldn't afford clothes like that. They walked around naked. Nah, it was more convenient. It wasn't because they're trying to make a statement, oh, I'm a bad bitch. It was hot. What the hell? It was hot. You should know this. A lot of Africans don't like to wear clothes. They don't like to wear shoes. You should know that too, right? For a fact. So it's like, don't think you're making a statement because you're walking around here bareless. No. Being comfortable in your skin is way more than that. It's like when you're so comfortable in your skin that you're actually taking your time to invest in like harvesting the power of your mind. Harvest the power of your mind. How about that? You know what I'm saying? That's a beautiful thing. You got Kodak Yellow. He's flushing Kodak Yellow. What's his name? Kodak Black. Sorry. Flushing money in the toilet, throwing $100,000 at sea. I'm like, what is going on here? What's going on here? Young people getting locked up like it's running out of style. Something is happening to Black children. And because there's so much noise, there's so much got to be glue, frontals, baby hairs, BBLs, and I don't know what else is going on out here. People think, oh, because there's so much noise, people are okay. People are not okay. You know what I mean? People are not okay. All these BBLs, is something is not right within. Because people are dying. You know what I mean? It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot of people hiding how much they're hurting, hiding how much they don't feel like they belong, hiding how they don't feel good, hiding how like they're not okay. Like it's nothing but distractions out here. When people are dying, y'all, people are dying. A lot of our young people are dying. We need to pray for them. And maybe even stop being so harsh on them and pray for them. Even when they don't want to hear you or talk to you, pray for them in silence. When you stand next to them, say a prayer in your heart. Yeah, I said the prayer loud. Just pray. I've really come to realize, like, pray for young people. Pray for these young people because the devil really is after the young Black children. He really is after them. You know what I mean? And building up all kinds of fake idols, fake prophets, fake teachings to kill these young people. These are beautiful children. You know what I mean? Hey, Best Life. These are beautiful kids. Black children are beautiful. But they don't believe in themselves. They don't believe in themselves. Because, I feel like when you believe in yourself, you want to change the world. Like, you want to change the world. Like, when you believe in yourself, you can live authentically. Like, you can just be who you are. You can be proud of who you are. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I feel like when I don't know. You know what I'm saying? You just want to change the world. You want your name to matter for the good reasons, not the bad ones. You don't want to be known for the girl, oh, she got the biggest ass. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be known for the girl, oh, she gives the best head. That's horrible. That's horrible. That's horrible. There's so much to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you think about a time like when all a Black woman was just that piece of meat, an ox to work hard, then a female dog to be raped and carry children so that they could have free labor. She had no power over her. She couldn't even explore her mind. You think about a time like where it was even criminal for a Black child to read. I told y'all, because, I'm born February. I'm an Aquarius, right? And when I first came to the state, I told you because my birthday, on February 2nd, so my birthday falls with like Black History Month. So, and because growing up in Africa, like I've always loved Dr. King. I loved him so much because I feel like he was so brave. Bravery. Not being who everybody wants you to be, but believing what your destiny is meant to be. You know what I'm saying? And one of the ladies that really impacted me, because I've always made it like a ritual to like read more books, like more Black books during Black History Months, but it was Ida B. Wells. Her lady, like you think about Toni Morrison, people know Toni Morrison. People know like Maya Angelou, like these are some of like the greats, like, Black African American writers, but it's Haiti. But you think about like Ida B. Wells, people need to read about her. She was on the co-founders of the NAACP. You know what I mean? And you think about like ladies like it was so hard for them to be able to get books, to read, to get an education. You know what I mean? But they like in a sea of like white domination, people trying to call you all kinds of nigga this, nigga that, telling you this is all you're ever going to be. Bunch of ceilings they put on black people. Bunch of ceilings they put on black women. You know what I'm saying? And it's like with her, like she used her mind, like she was comfortable in her skin to know someone like me can become someone like that. You know what I'm saying? And it was about like writing stuff, waking people up and documenting all the horrors that were going on to black people, like educating black people, waking up black people, like teaching black people to find their light from within. From within. A beautiful voice, like this, I don't know, like this beautiful symphony of like, I am black and I'm proud and I'm gorgeous and I'm beautiful. Not because my lips make you think of nasty things, not because my ass might be shaped like the moon, or not because I have curves. No, none of that. Because that's a given. Physically, it's a given. But what black people were never truly allowed to celebrate, especially in this project they call America, was their mind. That you have a beautiful mind. You know what I'm saying? You have a beautiful mind. You can do so much. You know what I mean? You can be bigger than Jeff Bezos. You can be better than Elon Musk. You have the mind that you can design, like not even an electric car. You can even design a flying car. Like, child, like you're so beautiful. Why do you limit yourself to just sex? Like it just hurts my soul. It hurts my soul. Because you're going to live your whole life thinking that all you're good for is for how you look. There's so much in you. There's so much, like God, he's put so much in you. You know, I never knew I could do math. I didn't think my brain could do it. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't because my brain couldn't do it. I didn't have people who understood how my brain worked to help me. And it's something I used to struggle with numbers really bad. You know, but I feel like maybe one day, like God, he had mercy on me. And it's like my brain had just opened up and numbers, they started to make sense to me. They started to make sense to me, like formulas. They started to make stuff I didn't think I could understand. It's like my brain just went like this and it just made sense to me. I understand. I used to read the Bible and I used to say, oh, God, like, look at Daniel. Look how smart he is. Please make me this smart. You know what I mean? I just want to be a smart person. I didn't like people were like, you know, when I was in middle school, people would say, oh, Marlene, like, you have dick sucking lips. It just used to anger me. It used to anger me that, oh, people will just look at my lips and that's what they would think of. My lips are not meant for that shit. You know what I mean? Or like people just like, I would have people like in high school ask me, oh, Marlene, like, do you take it in the butt? I was like, what the heck? What the fuck is that? Like, oh, this girl, she does it. That's how she got her butt to be big. And I was like, I was just born this way. Like, what the heck is going? I was never a girl who wanted people to look at her body. It just made me feel very weird. You can ask everybody. I wore sweaters around my waist until I was like maybe in college, you know, because I didn't want that to define me. Because I didn't think that was something that you took pride in. But I felt like your mind, like that was something, because the people that I liked, the people I loved in those books, like they were really smart people. And I felt like that's what being Black was. To me, being Black was being super smart. Because whether it was Ida B. Wells, whether it was like James Baldwin, whether it was Maya Angelou, whether it was Toni Morrison, Julian Piercy, I mean, you name it, like Langston Hughes. Oh, I grew up, I loved Langston Hughes. That was like every summer. Because to me, he is the Hemingway. Like what Hemingway is to white people, that's what Langston Hughes was. And it was like a Dr. King. But it was like all these Black people, they were so fucking smart. And I wanted to, like, if that's what Mount Olympus was, like, if being Black, like, well, you die and you Black, like, in order to make it was like show us how smart you are. Like, I always felt like that was being Black, was being smart as shit. Like, you know what I mean? And that's something I always aspire to, like, be smart as shit. This whole makeup stuff, I didn't even start until I got like in my like 20s or whatever, because it wasn't really something that like, yeah, I didn't think much of it. I always knew I was smart before I knew I was pretty, or like I knew how to put makeup on. You know what I mean? And so it's like today, like when I see like all these beautiful girls, these are girls that could rival some of these white girls, whether it's in law, it's like venture capital, it's you name it, like electric battery, I don't know, physics, I mean, I'm like, these children are so, they don't even know how smart they are. Because the devil out here, this entertainment devil, whatever this industry is so quick to reward them. That's why I remember, like growing up African, or even here, you have some old school African-American parents are the same way. They don't want their kids to work too early, because I understand, because when you start giving children a taste of money early on, it messes up their psyche. You know what I mean? And it's true. Chris Brown, I mean, look at all these young people. They gave these kids money, so much money at such an early age. Where are these young people today? Where are they today? You can't tell them nothing. They don't listen to anybody. They don't have good people around them. Drugs, because they have the money, but they don't have the wisdom. They don't have the maturity. They don't have the safeguards around them. They don't have it. So they're killing themselves. That money is killing them. It's not for their betterment. It's not for the betterment of their community. It's not. It's money money to go buy toxic stuff to just kill yourself. And that way, when you die, the society, the industry is going to just have all your intellectual property, and then boom, you're gone. You know what I mean? We compete to be the raunchiest in music, compete to have the biggest asses. For what purpose? Like, is this even safe for your back? You know what I mean? Compete to be the most freakiest. I'm like, what is this? You know what is this? There's no need for this. That's not even creativity. That's just good old nasty sex. There's no imagery to it. It's too much. You don't have to do this. For how much? How much are you going to really make? Meanwhile, white girls are inspired to go ahead and be lawyers and run these Facebook. They run Sony. They run Coca-Cola. They run all these huge companies, make so much money, live in these huge houses, and you would never have to see them nothing. Why don't we say, this is what I want? If the white woman can have all these things without ever having to do none of these things, why am I doing them? And that's the bold quality I wish Black people would seek. Why am I singing about sucking penis when the white girl is not doing it? And yet she makes more than me. She'll have more Grammys than me. She'll have more followers. These white artists do way more, that they do way better than the Black girls. So why are you doing it? Because it's like, this is the ceiling they set for you, and you've accepted it. That's all you're going to be. The girl who sings about having sex with drug dealers, the girl who sings about how big her ass is, how wet her pussy is. You know what I mean? And we think it's a celebration. It's sad. It's sad. Yesterday I was watching a thing on Netflix, right? It's a show. It's a real estate show in Paris. It's Parisian, right? And it's a family, and they sell luxury real estate in Paris. And so there was this apartment going up for sale for 18 million euros, so about like $36 million, right? And I was like, there's someone out there who has that kind of money. You know what I mean? And I promise you, they never have to sing about sex, licking, sucking, dicking. Like they don't have to do. There's someone out there, because if they made this apartment and they price it like that, because they know somebody can afford it. And guess who's going to afford it? It's a white person. And it's like, why don't you have, and I'm like, this is what to me being Black is. Like, if a white person can live in an $18 million, like $36 million apartment in the heart of Paris, I want to be that too. And believe that you can. It's hard because there's so many ceilings, but that's where Black magic needs to come in, right? That's where Black creativity needs to come in. And the fact that, like, you're so divine. Maybe that's how I need to phrase it. Like, in my head, in my mind, in the way I see it, in my, like, I guess my third chakra, my eye chakra, I don't know, in my spiritual eye, to me, Black people are so divine. To me, Marlene, like, Black people are so regal. To me, Marlene, Black people are so anointed. And it hurts me when I see Black people not have like a proper realization of that, and not striving for that. Like, I'm divine. I'm divine. The rules of this world, them sick things, that perversion thing, it doesn't apply to me. I don't have to submit to that because I'm divine. And that was the beautiful thing about the story of Daniel, is that Daniel was like, I don't have to submit to this. I'm divine. They wanted him to eat meat from the altar. You know, you might not be going through the meat from the altar because that's not your reality today. But today it could be like, oh, you don't have enough money, become a sex worker. Oh, you don't have enough money, go sell drugs. You don't have enough money, lie. You don't have enough money, sing about all this foolishness to your people. And then when they buy it, you'll come out on top. That meat from the altar, it represents many, many things. It doesn't, for him, it was meat. But for you, it's like, what is the devil asking you to eat that's against your divinity? What is the devil asking you to eat that will compromise? Oh, Jesus, that would compromise the power that lives in you that you receive at birth, Black woman. That's the question I want you to ask yourself. What is the devil asking you to eat that when you consume this, oh, there you go. You see, and Daniel was like, I'm not eating this stuff, because he knew he was divine. He knew this, but us being besieged and these people kidnapping me and bringing me here to serve them. Oh, it's only for a moment. I'm not like these people. I'm not an animal, because he's like, these people, they're savages. I mean, they are savages. Oh, hell no. That we're not the same. And yes, there's pressure. And yes, they have more money than me. And yes, they could kill me. I don't care, because I'm divine. And even to this day, I think the Jews who call themselves kosher Jews, they don't eat certain things. They don't eat pig. They don't mix their meat. And most of the people who are kosher Jews happen to be very successful people, because they know they're divine. I guess like in their house, they have a separate dishwasher for meat. They have a separate dishwasher for chicken or something like that. But like their stuff is really, really separate. You know what I mean? And the majority, because to live like that, where you have 2 dishwashers, 2 microwaves, 2 sets of everything, yeah, you got money. But you see, they set themselves apart, and I'm telling you, the majority of these kosher Jew people are rich people. Trust me, listen to me, okay? Because they're like, no, I'm not eating this. Oh, heck no. They're like, are you sure you're going to survive if you don't eat this? He said, no. Give me some vegetables. Give me some vegetables. Oh, Lord, give me what comes straight out of the earth. I don't want none of this stuff. Oh, no. And the guard got scared. He was like, oh, give was it like 9 days or 10 days? And he's like, oh, if I don't look the same like those people, then at that point you can force me to eat it. He challenged his God. He invoked his divinity. He said, nah, I'm going to eat fruits and look better than all you heifers. I ain't going to eat this. I ain't gonna eat this. What, like, how can you're a young lady, you drink like this, you're going to kill yourself. Having casual sex with random people, and nothing casual about sex, because anybody's doing it. Let them do it. You're divine. You're divine. You know, one thing I never understood. Let me tell you something. My whole life, I wanted to have a Valentine's. I never had one. Even when I had a boyfriend, they would like break up. I never had somebody on Valentine's Day. And he used to always like concern me, right? But guess what happened? Valentine's Day is actually my wedding day. And I was like, oh, God always even when I was younger, I tried to have a Valentine's Day. God was like, nope. Because he was saving that day for my wedding day. And now Jimmy is my Valentine. So I always have a Valentine, even though sometimes he tries to run away from me, though. But I do bring him back. You know what I mean? But he's my forever Valentine. You know what I mean? And like, I don't want you to feel like you have to eat what the devil is laying out for you. His stuff is nasty. This stuff is rotten. This stuff, it don't give life. It doesn't. You see, and Daniel was faithful. Like, he was faithful, not just to God, but he was faithful to himself. He knew who he was, and he knew who he was going, and he wasn't letting all this confuse him. Stop letting the world bully you to be someone you don't want to be. Stop letting the world bully you to be weak-minded. Challenge yourself. Like, bring about your divinity. Seriously. Be bold enough. Want what the white woman wants. Oh, she wants to be a CEO and have all these. I'm going to get there too. Oh, she wants to be a powerhouse attorney. I'll be one too. Oh, they're buying $18 million, $36 million apartment in Paris. Well, guess what? I will do it too. Challenge yourself. When you see all these white girls and these white girls from all over the world go to these Paris Fashion Week, and they wear like a dress by Ellie Saab for $20,000. They wear all this stuff, like all these Camilla Cello, Song of Style, all these girls with people with white skin. You see them go to all these expensive fashion shows. wearing luxury stuff. These girls don't even have to talk about sex. Don't even have to twerk. Tell yourself, I'm going to be the black girl that wears all this designer stuff, that goes to these fashion shows without twerking, without being vulgar, without being drunk, without none of that. I will demand the same respect they get. I will carry myself even better than they carry themselves. I'm going to win. Oh, yes, I will. We got to be smart at playing their game. Not thinking like, oh, this is all we get. We act ratchet and we buy a little Chanel bag. Why buy a Chanel bag when you could be the next model for Chanel? You see what I mean? Like, when I'm not trying to be mean, but it's like when I look at pretty girls like Mulatto, Mulatto's a very pretty girl. Very pretty girl. You see? And it's like, if she was a bit more confident, not cocky, because people think being cocky and confident, that's not the same thing. She's just loud. Trying too hard to be ghetto. But what about being classy? What about having like strength and just your poise? I'm like, you could be a model for Louis Vuitton. You could wear Louis Vuitton. You could be a model for Chanel. You could be a model for many of these people. But this behavior, where's it going to get you? Always going for low-hanging fruits. You want to buy it when you can actually become part of the brand. Let that stuff sink in. Think about like, how can I get myself to go to like to go to these Paris Fashion Week and be invited Paris Fashion Week? No, everybody wants to be the stripper. What? Y'all living in this like the Players Club. But even Lisa Ray, how did her life end? Like, why? Like, I'm like, what is like I don't. How does this story end though? How does it end? Even for Lisa Ray, how did it end? She's now on Fox 5 doing whatever she's doing from Zoom. You see what I'm saying? That's not strategy. Living on, oh, I'm beautiful. That's not strategy. You gotta have more than that. Because there are people who really are out here who run the world. You don't even know these people. But they get to run the world because they use their mind. Like their mind, like it works really, really well. Because they understand that you are meant to be a creator. Don't settle for because everybody else is doing it. Who cares? It's boring. Don't do stuff because, oh, my friends are doing it. Don't do that. Respect your divinity. Like, respect what God put in you. Respect God's anointing over your life. And guess what? It's better to be alone than to do a bunch of stupidity, and then that's still going to be stuck on the internet. And it will follow you all the days of your life, unfortunately. You see what I mean? So sorry, you guys. It took, you know me and my long-ass introductions, but this is what it is, right? So here we are for the Tabitha and Wendy story because it really leads into that, right? So if you guys don't know this, there's a famous Black woman. Her name is Tabitha Brown. She is a Black woman. She's from North Carolina. I think it's Eden, North Carolina. She's vegan. She does like vegan recipes on Instagram. She's also an actress, but like her Instagram cooking stuff took over her acting, but not because she's getting acting roles. She's married to her husband. He's a police officer. They have like 2 or 3 children. I don't know if I'm not mistaken. Or she has a daughter because I saw her. I remember when she got her car for her 16th birthday or whatever. So Tabitha had posted on her Instagram because she does a lot of talking. She encourages people. That after, I don't know, 15 years in the force as a police officer, that she was going to retire her husband. Okay. She was going to retire her husband. So then, I don't know when she said that, but then Wendy got to talking about it. So Wendy gets on her show and Wendy says that, oh, that there's an influencer, and then she puts a picture up of Tabitha and her husband. I think his name is Chance. And so it was her and Chance. And so she was like, oh, that Tabitha, you know, she's an influencer. I guess she's making money. So now she's going to retire her husband. And so then Wendy says, oh, I can see this marriage heading down for trouble because I did that. I was the woman who worked and made money and paid the bills. So she feels like because she was the breadwinner and did so much for her relationship, her marriage, and it went, you know, y'all know how it ended up. And he had a mistress or mistresses and houses and side houses and cars and trips that he was taking care of that girl, Serena, whatever her name is. So Wendy projected that and she said, oh, actually, so she pretty much like tried to curse their marriage because that's, you know, speaking evil. She said, oh, I don't see this marriage like going anywhere. It was like, it's heading for trouble. That's what she said. Right. So then Tabitha responded to her. on her Instagram. She did a live. It was very calm, very poised, very Christian-like. And so she said to Wendy, I can understand that you're really hurt because you've never really had someone to love you. Okay. And when she proceeded to explain, it even made me cry, actually. She was like, she moved to LA, I think in like 2004 or 5 or something like that. And it's Los Angeles, it's very expensive. It's like mostly white people who succeed there. So imagine a black girl, country black girl trying to make it out in California. So they moved there at that time. And she was like, her and her husband, they struggled together. Like they didn't have money together. They were broke together. They came up together. And one thing she said was like her husband told her, he was going to work and do this job so that she could pursue her dream of becoming an actress. And every time that she would get rejections and things like that, he was there for her. And, and so now she's made it. And so she wants to extend the same courtesy to him because he also has his dreams, right? He has a non-for-profit. I think he coaches, so he wants to make that bigger. He wants to have a bigger impact on Black children. You know what I'm saying? I feel like crying now, so because when you work a 9 to 5, she's not saying that she's against a 9 to 5. She didn't say that. But she said when you do work in a 9 to 5, right, it does take you away from your passion, unless your 9 to 5 is your passion. But most of the time, the 9 to 5 does take you away from your passion, and you don't have enough time to be creative when you have a 9 to 5. And so it is a blessing if you're able to solely focus on your creativity and focus on like your dream, your destiny, like what you think really God put you on this earth for. You know what I'm saying? So she said that, she prays for Wendy. She prays that Wendy does find somebody who will love her, hold her, whether she's rich or poor, sick or healthy, through the good and bad, because she can tell that Wendy never had that Wendy never had someone who really loved her. But my thing is Wendy even ever loved herself, right? And it was really touching to me because I can kind of understand what Wendy will be worried of certain things, but we have to realize like your relationship is not someone else's relationship, right? And it's really sad how you and Kevin thing turned out. But the thing is also, you get him how you pick him, right? And you lose him how you pick him, right? So from the jump, I really do believe that initially people do show you who they are, kind of, you know what I'm saying? And I don't think Kevin was ever husband material, but you chose to marry someone who was not husband material. You chose to marry somebody who was for the streets. You know what I mean? And the street dude ain't never gonna be for you because he for the streets. I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Somebody's for the streets, they're for the streets for real, for real. And you have to accept that. But people have a tendency of wanting to take street people and turning them into housewives or house husbands. I don't see how that's going to work. You know what I mean? But the thing that truly, truly touched me, and that's also made me that's where I started to tear up, right? Is the fact that even with Wendy, like I felt like, lacking the tact because even what it represents, right? Before you even try to give your own personal opinion, but I'm like, at least though, like celebrate people, celebrate Black people, because for what this means, not just for them, but what it means for all of us. You know what I'm saying? Because to me, whether it's a Black man who can retire his wife or Black woman who can retire her husband, that's an impressive accomplishment. You know what I mean? Because they're still young, right? That is an impressive accomplishment. You know what I mean? For Black people to have made it in Los Angeles without selling their soul, without being perverse, without having to do all kinds of weird stuff, by keeping their marriage together, by keeping their family together, by keeping their faith together, it is an accomplishment. You hear me? For Black women from North Carolina, right, to believe that she could be successful in California, that she could make it in California without having the blueprint, without knowing with certainty how it was going to turn out. It's it's a lot of risk. You guys imagine from North Carolina to LA, like that's a culture shock, right? But to have the boldness or that faith, the conviction that Tabitha had to go there, you know what I mean? We're in 2021. Right? This is a dream that probably took like 15 years, 15, 16 years to come through, right? And to see a Black woman hold on to her dream like this for 16 years before it came to pass, right? That's amazing. You know what I'm saying? To see a Black man also hold his wife down. You know what I mean? She said, try Florida to Seattle. Exactly, right? To see a Black man hold his wife down without putting pressures on her to work and say, no, go for what you believe. I got you. I'll do what it takes. That's freaking impressive. You know what I mean? And like God knows how their faith had to be tested. Like, did we make the right decision? Are we sure we belong here? Is this the place for us? You know what I'm saying? And I've talked about that before, right? I've talked about before, like, you know what I'm saying? I've talked about it before in the sense that sometimes just because something is your destiny, it doesn't mean that it's smooth sailing. Okay? Something could be your destiny and it can whoop your behind. Okay? It will have you out here looking crazy. It will have you out here broke. You know what I'm saying? Like, but is this really what it's supposed to be? You know, you could lose family, you could lose friends, you could lose so much, right? You might have to walk on a job, you might have to sleep in your car. I mean, who knows what you'll have to go through? And you're like, are you sure this is your destiny? Because we have a tendency of believing that if God really has called us to a thing, it should be easy. Like, it should just give us a hug, it should be warm, it should be embracing. And it's like, nah, it's like it whoops you like a stepmother. Okay, it will whoop you behind like a stepmother. You'll be like, is this the right place? Is this the right address? Marlene's supposed to be successful here. I don't think I got the right address, right? Like, it'll whoop your ass. And then you're like, hold up, wait a minute. No, I don't think God sent me here. No, this is not possible. Because we have this idea of like, if God loves us and he gives us what we ask for, it's supposed to be like smooth sailing, no problem. You have all the money that you need. There's no hiccups. Everybody understands you. Life is beautiful. Everything is beautiful. Da, 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 da. Does that make sense? And it's like a lot of times, like, that's not what happens. Most of the time, that's not what happens. God's going to put that burning desire in you. He's going to put the vision in your head. But then when you open your eyes and you look, you're like, I don't think I can afford this dream. But it's like you want to turn away, but it calls you back. Like, I don't think I can afford this dream, right? It's like, you're like, no, I don't have the money for this. I can't afford this. I don't have financial courage. Like, you know, because people think like you can't afford a dream. It's like only money. No. Do I even have enough courage in me? Right? Do I even have enough like self-esteem in me? Do I even have enough like conviction in myself? Right? Do I even like believe in myself enough? You see what I'm saying? And like, that's a lot. So it's not even just the money part. So to hold on to something for 15, 16 years, right? Oh, thank you, Dawn. Like, that's bravery. Because even me, I don't know if I could hold on to. And it reminds me of David. Like, from the time David was anointed until David becomes king of Israel, it took 17 years. You see what I mean? 17 years. So it's like her, she's like, what, 15, 16 years for that dream that she got while she was still in North Carolina to come to pass. And that's pretty amazing. That's freaking amazing. Do you know what I mean? That is a cause for celebration. A Black woman who has made it, talking about God, being godly, being friendly, being respectful, being sweet, being a mother, being a committed wife, being a good friend, didn't have to compromise nothing. And she got everything that most people be twerking and twerking again. Y'all, her comments be like 11,000 people in the comments. Okay? She'll have like 11,000 comments per video. She'll have like through 200, 500,000 views on the IG. She's not even famous. Like, she's not like a rapper, a singer. No. She just been doing them little vegetarian food stuff and just talking sweetness into people. I'm telling you, it is crazy. You know what I'm saying? Highly favored, right? But you see, in this, like what I hear in my head is mustard seed, huh? You know what I mean? But it's like that mustard seed is so small. But you keep watering it with love and kindness and beautiful things, right? And then look what happens. Social media will make you think you got to be all kinds of ratchet, loud, ghetto, vulgar, promiscuous, drunk, disrespectful, deranged, confused to make it. And it's not, because these people don't have peace. The majority of the people, they don't have mental peace. They don't have mental peace. Like, I was watching a situation with that girl, Jessie Woo. How she found herself between the Cardi and Nicki Minaj beef. Then she ends up on the Tasha K channel. I said, girl, this is not good for your mental health. This is not good for your mental health. This like, if you want your name to go, your name can go for people. I wish people could understand, huh? I wish people could understand. God can project your name so much further than all these shenanigans, all these games, all these gossipy stuff. God can project your name so much further. You see what I'm saying? Number two, it's not just about having a name. But what if your name don't taste good in people's mouth? I'm going to say it again. What if your name does not taste good in people's mouths? There are people, when they say people's name, you can see their faces filling up with delight. They're so happy to say somebody's name. Ooh, like their faces fill up with delight. Then there are people, just like Wendy, when people say her name, it's like they're like, ooh, they have like, ooh, what is this? That they just ate something that they're allergic to. Because her name does not taste good in people's mouth. See, your name could be out there and your name don't have favor. Because you did everything through your own understanding. And that's what the Bible says, that in in all thy ways, acknowledge the Lord. In all of your ways, acknowledge God. It says that in all of your ways, acknowledge God. You see what I mean? But today it's like so many people, so many of our young people who grew up in the church are so embarrassed to say, I'm a Christian, I rep God, I rep Jesus. This is what I believe in. So they start involving themselves in these tricks and these games and the politics of success, manly, earthly success. And it never ends well. Never ends well. When you do things with God, your name, it prospers and you still have peace. Like peace reigns in your house. Success reigns in your house. You know what I mean? Yeah. Success reigns in your house. Good health, it reigns in your house. You know what I mean? Harmony, it's in the house. Love, it's in the house. Unconditional love, it's in the house. No diseases over the house. For me and my house shall serve the Lord. You see what I mean? Here is a woman who quietly is probably making millions of dollars. Because 3.5 million followers and a strong engagement like that. Oh, yes, she's getting paid. But it's like the quiet, the still waters. You know? And that's why I said earlier, like, you got to really ask yourself, like, what is the devil asking me to eat? And that's for all of us. What is he asking you to eat? And then you got to ask yourself, like, is this really worth it? You know what I mean? Is this really worth it? Do I really want to eat this stuff, or is it going to kill me? What's like it going to kill you? Because most of the things that the world says eat this, it's to kill you. And you think, oh, if I eat this stuff, they're going to like me. If I eat gossip, they're going to like me. If I eat contentiousness, they're going to like me. If I eat, be like all over the top, sexy and selling butt booty everywhere, they're going to like me, right? If I eat no self-respect, they're going to like me. If I eat vulgarity, they're going to like me. If I do this and that, they're going to like me. So while you're so busy eating at the table of the devil and all the nasty things he has for you, there's someone on the other side over there who's just happy to have manna from heaven. They don't eat much, but they eat well. Let me say that again. They don't eat much, but they eat well. The world will make you glutinous. And you think you eat. And then when we look at you, like, look at this, right? But there are people who might not eat much, but they eat well. So they can move, they can be quick, they can be assiduous, they can have they're flexible, they move fast, they're very sharp, like a good arrow. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't eat much, but they eat well. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like when I look at like that, but for me, I'm like, you see, that's the thing. Like, it shows you that you don't have to compromise who you are to make it. If you are meant to make it, you will make it. Stop trying to control time. Because the more you want to control time and the more you want to speed things up, you are calling the devil and all of his temptation into your mind, into your heart, into your bosom. And when you put fire in your bosom, you're going to burn. Eventually, you'll burn. Stop trying to control time and let things happen as they should. You know what I mean? Allow yourself, right, to sometimes be embarrassed by failures. It's going to be good for you. I'm going to give you credit, but no, go ahead. You get credit. You can use it. You know what I mean? Allow yourself to have setbacks. Allow yourself to things don't work out as quickly as you plan. It's for your good. Because you know what it's going to do for you? The Bible says it's going to produce the fruits of the Spirit. I think it's like kindness, love, meekness. It's in Galatians, right? Galatians 6. It talks about the fruits of the Spirit, right? But it's like that's what all that stuff does. Like that waiting time. It feels like torture, I know, but it's good for the soul. It's good for you. It's good for character. Because the Bible says like that, like this patient thing, it produces character, and character produces perseverance, and perseverance produces like hope in us, and hope produces faith. And the faith that comes out of this will not disappoint us, because those who put their faith in the Lord shall not be disappointed. Does that make sense? So all that stuff, like, it's for your good. It's for your good. Your dreams will come to pass because you didn't even come up with those dreams. Those dreams were assigned to your memory. You know what I'm saying? Same thing goes for your destiny. That's why you don't have to stress about it, because it was assigned to you. It's your assignment. It's yours. It belongs to you. Your dreams were assigned to you. So it's like, enjoy the time it takes to get there, and worry yourself not. Don't worry about, do not worry about, you're going to get there. You are truly going to get there. Have peace about everything. Have peace about everything. Let your soul not be anxious for nothing. Eventually, it will all work for your good, right? Because God will send you out there on a journey without a blueprint. But maybe you don't need one, because the blueprint is already like in your mind somewhere. Trust yourself. Know that you are divine, and you're called to be divine. You're called to be creative. You are a creative. You are a creator. Good things will come to you in like every aspect of your life. Like just like with Tabitha, like you can have a thriving career. You can have beautiful, healthy kids. You can have a great marriage. Like you can truly, it will all come together, and it will all be beautiful. You know what I mean? But I'm like, for me, Marlene, I feel like it's a beautiful thing to see a Black woman who's not a conventional model, is not a traditional actress that you see in Hollywood, but to really go out there to pursue her dream. And although it wasn't easy, God sent her there, right, with another warrior by her side, just like Aaron, and was sent there for Moses, because Moses told God that he didn't feel comfortable because, it was really bad for him. He was very shy. I think he stuttered really badly. So God said, take Aaron with you. You know what I mean? When Abraham went out there, he didn't have that much confidence. So he took his nephew Lot with him, right? So you see that God will always find you, bring you a companion, so that journey that you go on, this trek towards your destiny, it is not one that you're going to go by yourself. I think that's what her husband is for her, right? He's that other person that holds her tight, that encourages her. And it goes to show you, like, we all need encouragement. We all need encouragement. It's a beautiful thing to have someone to share your life with. It's a beautiful thing to have someone, sacrifice. Yeah. Oh, hey, Kay. It's a beautiful thing to have someone sacrifice for you. It's a beautiful thing to have a partner, a husband, a wife who believes that you are worthy, that you are worth it. You know what I mean? For them to take a hit for you to, to be who you want to be. You know what I'm saying? And that's the same thing I think about a lot of times. I'm like, the fact that James has always worked, James has always been a career person. So that has allowed me to pursue all my artistic endeavors, right? And that is a phenomenal blessing, because it's a lot for one person. You know what I mean? It's a lot for one person. And you do say to yourself, the day I finally get to accomplish what it is I do want to accomplish, right? I pray that I can pay it forward to my husband. I pray that I can pay it forward to my parents. You know what I mean? I pray that I can pay it forward to everyone who's ever encouraged me, to believe in myself, because we all need people to believe in us, it doesn't have to be the whole world, but the people that truly matter to you. It feels good to have a champion by your side, whether it's a man or a woman, right? It feels good to have people say, you can do it. You know what I mean? It's okay. They rejected you, man. Bump these heifers. You know what I mean? It feels good. Everybody needs that. Everybody needs that. And it's a beautiful thing that she has that in her husband. And it's a beautiful thing that he has that in her. It's a beautiful, it really is. Because this is LA. They live in LA. Like, their bills are LA bills, inflated. Okay. So for her to be able to finally do that, to take her family out of North Carolina, bring them to LA, and she's able to provide for them at the level of like a very successful white actress would, that is pretty impressive. You know what I mean? And I tap and agree. And I tap into that too. May God bring that over here, because I need it. And I think like that's the thing about Wendy, right? I think Wendy wanted to be so successful, broken woman, broken. Wendy's been damaged. She was damaged before she met Kevin. and maybe they bonded over trauma. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, she grew up, I guess, emotionally neglected. I feel like maybe she was emotionally alone from her movie. She was pretty thick as a child, pretty tall as a child. Maybe she never fit in, right? So like she took that, oh, I don't fit in, like the wrong way. I think Wendy wanted to be so successful that she jeopardized her soul. You know what I mean? She jeopardized her soul. Always talking about people, wishing harm on people, not wanting anything good for people, always spreading bad news about people, sleeping with people's husbands, then putting in their faces, you know what I mean? Just always operating out of brokenness and never using all this money that she has to get the healing that she can get and that she can actually afford. When you got money to get the healing she needs, she has the money. A grown woman like Wendy parading around town with Ray J. And I'm not trying to be like mean or disrespectful, but when I saw her and Ray J hanging out, I was praying for her. I said, oh, I hope Ray J is not enabling her. I hope Ray J is not giving her things, because Ray J was with Whitney Houston the night she died. He was with her. He was with her. If my recollection serves me right, he was there. I think he was in her room. The lady ended up dead of an overdose. Right. And I was like, we see him again with Wendy, and we know she has a substance abuse problem. So I was like, well, I hope he's not there doing anything nefarious with this lady, because she doesn't need that. You know what I mean? Wendy's not okay. Because like, I think now she's realizing like, whoa, I have no friends. She has no friends. She has no sisterhood. She has no one who loves her. I guess the only woman she could tolerate was her mother is gone. It's like, where does she get her feminine energy? Like, who are her sisters? Who's there for her? Who checks on her? And I hope like even all the ladies on here, the Black women on here who are so obsessed with being the number one gossip channel, the number one, slandering channel, the number one exposed channel, all this gossiping and gossiping stuff. I hope people look at Wendy and say, like, the money might be good. The diamonds are very beautiful, but is it worth it? Is it worth it? You know what I mean? Nothing good comes out of always speaking ill of people. Nothing good comes out of always being the first one to run outside to spread bad news about someone. You know what I mean? Nothing good comes out of being the Black person that's always there to look down on the accomplishments of other Black people. Nothing good comes out of a Black person always speaking ill or evil things about another Black couple, another Black marriage. Nothing good comes out of that. Because what you speak on the life, if you're a Black person, what you speak on the life of another Black person, you're also speaking it on your life, because we're all connected. We're all connected. We don't have to know each other. We're all connected. Because when you demean a Black marriage, or when you curse a Black marriage, there are so many Black people who are married. You know what I mean? And they have a strong bond, and they have a strong partnership, and they have friendship, and they have support. They have real unconditional love. You know what I mean? And that's what marriage should be about. Whoever is up should pick up the other person. That's how it should be, just like a ladder. Whoever gets step A, you should pull somebody and put them in step B. Then when they get to step B, they should pull you, put you in step C. Then once you get to step C, you pull them up and put them in step D. Like, this stuff should actually be normal for Black people, though. That's the way it should be. If you stand on the shoulders of another person, you know what I mean, to make it, when you finally make it, you should be grateful. You should pay it forward. Oh, friend, you helped me to make it this far. How can I help you in return? What will make you happy? Because you didn't have to help me. You didn't have to give me your shoulders to stand on. That's actually the way it should be. If you recognize that your husband played a huge part in your success in your career, because nobody is self-made. I don't believe that. No one is self-made. No one is self-made. You can't make yourself. No one is self-made. So it's like, if you have a husband who helped you and now you're successful, you should also say, okay, husband, you've helped me. I've made it. What would make you happy? What would you like to do? Right? And then like when he's also blessed, we pray and we say, oh God, you know what? We pray that, the husband honors what the wife has done for him and he doesn't betray her. That's all you say. You speak life over people. You don't speak evil energy. You know what I mean? Yeah. And the fact that he is a cop too. So I'm like, right now it's very challenging to be a cop, right? It's a very, very challenging to be a cop. It's a very challenging, it's a very challenging time to be a cop, especially a black cop in LA. I don't know about that. So even for him, like as a black man, if his wife can make it that he don't have to risk his life and he can be there for his kids, that's a blessing. Hey, Nancy. You know what I mean? That's a blessing. I'm like, oh, thank you, Jesus. And it should inspire all of us. It should inspire all of us. We should be like, we should have a mindset like where it's like we take pride in making things easier for the next black person coming behind you. We should actually take pride in holding the door for the next black person coming behind you. Like that should be like normal to us, right? Just like paying it forward. Like, oh, somebody held the door for me. Let me also hold the door for the person. Or next time that person needs help, you bet I'm going to be there. Like it should be a normal thing for us. Like it should just be normal, right? So it's like if somebody helps you, you should help them too. It should be a normal thing for us, right? If you went through life and you didn't have good credit or you made bad choices and you fix your credit, you should put everybody on. Like, oh, let me tell you how not to do this. You don't want to go through this. This is not good. You don't want this, right? It should be a blessing. Like, let us all, like, seriously, let's all, like, stand together and agree, touch and agree in the spirit, right? Hey, babe, here is whatever God did over there, whatever God put on that couple, may God sprinkle that on everybody's marriage, on everybody's relationship, that y'all will be there. And that's what marriage vows are for. That's exactly what they say, for better or for worse. That you will be there for each other, honor each other, sacrifice each other, be patient with one another, be kind, have long suffering. Do you know what I mean? And embrace each other and never let anybody's head get big. Because remember, we both started at the bottom. Let us always remain humble, no matter how much money we make, no matter how much fame we make, right? Let us remember like the vow we made to each other and how we got here in the first place. Because to me, honestly, it's a beautiful thing. I've had a husband that's been able to, I never had to worry about like health insurance and things like that because James always worked, So, oh, Jimmy, one day too, I would love for you, that was a K-lie. I would love for you to also have like the dream that you want to have because it's a beautiful thing. The world is so big, you guys. The world is so big. I don't even think we dream big enough. Like the world is so big. There's so much to do. There's so much to see. There's so much money to make. Let us aspire to be people of excellence, right? That we can be that kind of successful and not just retire each other, right? But we can set a standard of living for our kids that's like above anything you could have imagined. Dreams, they come true. They take a minute though, but they take years, but they do come true. So it's like, there's another young lady too. Her name is Anna Cork or something. I don't know. She ran also, like she does the hurdles and she qualified for the Olympics for the USA Olympic team. And so she was saying that 2019, she didn't want to live. I guess she wanted to kill herself. She was very depressed and she didn't want to live. She was crying. Like she ran. She's like, she worked out so hard and so hard. And now she's qualified. She's part of the USA Olympic team, right? And that also made me really cry. Like, you know what? No matter like how bad today is, right? It doesn't matter how bad today is. It doesn't matter how depressed you are today. It's real. Life is real. You know what I mean? It's real. It's real. Life can really hit you hard. You know what I mean? And you can feel so weak. You can feel so helpless. You know what I mean? You can feel so vulnerable. You can feel so inadequate. Like even for her, Tabitha, just like Monique, I can only imagine like, thicker Black women with like a Southern accent trying to become actresses. You already know what kind of role they got for them to Miami. You know what I mean? I can only imagine like, nope, no, you're too this, you're too that, you're too Black, you're too country, your hair's too nappy, you're too this, you're too, that's a lot for one person. Rejection, it's a lot. You might know how to hype yourself, but sometimes, sometimes things will hit you. You are a person now. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Oh, you're welcome, Marco. But it's like you have to remind yourself that it's going to get better, right? It gets better. It truly gets better. Depression doesn't last always, right? Feeling down, it doesn't last always, right? Um, you know what I mean? Not having all the money you wish you had to do the things that you want to do, it's not going to last always. You got to keep pushing. You have to keep forcing yourself to go, to go, to go. Even when your body says, I don't know if I can do this anymore. You know what I mean? And your mind says, I don't know if I can handle one more rejection, right? You have to force yourself to go and to go and to go and to remember the promise that God has made you. Like, it will come to pass. You know what I mean? It will come to pass. You know what I'm saying? But that's what happens. A lot of people, when they've made the wrong choices, they made the wrong partner, because like you don't marry for love, but you marry for business. You marry for a career advancement. You marry for all kinds of foolishness. You're just doing it right now. But you're not thinking like, what is this like relationship? What does this partnership look like 10 years from now, 20 years from now, right? What are we going to have in common when we're no longer out here destroying people? Because that's the thing about, like, there's a saying that says like, an enemy of my enemy is my friend. Well, initially it's cute, right? When people come together trying to hurt someone, it's cute. But eventually what happens is like, then once you are done with this person, then both of y'all want to start killing each other. Right? That's always what happens. Like, it eats itself from within. There's a name for that. I forgot. Right? So it's like, that's the thing. So a lot of people pick people for the wrong reasons, for money, for looks, for perception, career, prestige, da, 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 da. But a lot of people, unfortunately, do not pick a partner based on like values. Like, what are your values? Right? You know what I mean? Like, even today, like, it's really hard to hear people speak on values, because even that is criminal too, right? But it's like, it's very hard to hear people speak on values. What are your values? What do you truly believe in? Money is not a belief. Money is a tool. It's paper, right? Fame, fame, people knowing your name. Okay. But like I said before, right? What if your name does not taste sweet in people's mouth? So now you got all your name is out there. People know you, but you're actually infamous. No one likes you. You're well known, but yet no one likes you. That's sad. That's sad. That no one even feels like they can confide in you or be a friend to you because you're so venomous. It's horrible. You know what I mean? It's horrible. And one lesson that I took also, like, from Auntie Tabitha, like today, it really touched me, because I've met the likes of Wendy in like real life, like these really damaged souls, right? And for me, Marlene, I couldn't take it, because I'm like, I don't like to be disrespected. I'm serious. I really don't. So, I'll cuss you out. I sure will cuss you out, But my thing is like, we're looking at how she handled Wendy too. Like, you know what? I'm going to do a better job too, because for as much as that person is like, you see the person and you see the words that are coming out their mouths, or you see the things that they're typing. So right away, you just want to like, just deal with a person. Like, I'm going to handle you real quick, right? But the reality is also, we have to understand that hurt people hurt other people. You know what I mean? And so sometimes it's not so much that they have an issue with you, or they have an issue with your happiness and what you and your husband are enjoying or whatever. It's more so that they hate themselves, or they're mad at themselves, or they cannot forgive themselves because they didn't make the right choices. They didn't make the right choices, right? And the fact that you made the right choice, right? The fact that you picked the right partner, the fact that you are aging gracefully, the fact that your family is still together and your husband loves you, it kills them inside, because your joy and your happiness and the harmony of the family, the dynamics of your beautiful family, the faith-centered life that you had, it kills them. That, wow, I could have had this too, and I'd made better choices. I could have had this kind of love if I had listened more to God. I could have been this kind of wife, or I could have had these children if I had taken heed to the advice of my family and advice of my loved ones, advice of my elders, right? And so it drives them insane to see how well you navigated the traps of life, and you rested, right? Your dreams, you rested your heart, you rested your destiny, you rested everything that pertains to your being on solid ground, on good ground, on fertile ground. And that drives them crazy. And that's what drives Wendy crazy. The fact that there are people out here whose families are still intact. There are people out here whose husbands, even though they're 50, 60, a little thicker than when they first got together, the husbands are even more in love with their wives today than they were when she was back in the day with a size 4, size 6, right? That drives them crazy. To see you at a family gathering with your family and your husband and your kids, and everybody's so happy and loving and embracing, it drives them crazy. You know what I'm saying? It drives them crazy. Because people don't like to take accountability for the stupid choices they made. So they must always throw some salt, throw some lime, or throw some vinegar, throw some venomous stuff at what you got going on, right? Because how happy you are, how loved you are, and how confident you are, and how peaceful you are. Like, and there are people like that. You know, I've known people like that too. I've known women that are like that, right? They love to derange your peace. They love to disturb your peace. They love to perturb your peace. Like when you're at peace with yourself, when you're happy with yourself, when you are not complaining, when you're just like you're content with life, right? They want to say slick stuff to make you feel sad about the past. They want to say mean things to like hurt you. And it's like, but why? Because you're at peace. You see what I mean? And that person over there, even though they seem to be successful, they seem to have money, they seem to have this, then that, their soul is not at peace. You see what I mean? Can a person truly enjoy success, truly enjoy what seems to be like abundance if the soul is not at peace? And a lot of people are miserable. They were miserable before. But now the fact that they have money and they have come to the realization that money does not buy happiness makes them even more miserable. Because what will now make me happy? And says, I don't know what can make me happy. Let me go around and starting fights with people, start bullying people, start saying mean things to people, start cursing people, start wishing harm on people, start trying to mock people. It's like, no, all you're doing is giving a microphone to how damaged and hurt you are, because hurt people try to hurt people. You see what I mean? When you're happy with yourself, when you love yourself, when your blessings are truly from God and not from your own works or mystical, weirdo entities. You know what I mean? You enjoy lifting people up. You enjoy boosting people up. You enjoy seeing people win. You know what I mean? You enjoy seeing people like reach a higher potential, even if that potential is higher than your potential. Because it feels good as a child of God to see other people reach their potential. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's really sad because a lot of times it's like, you don't even know, right? You don't even know what a person had to. You don't even know. Yeah. Oh, she's always mean to Norman. And I think Kevin also was very mean to Norman, right? But it's like, you don't even know what a person had to go through to even stand, right? And as they're standing, as they're mustering up the strength to stand, as they are gathering their strength that's left in them to stand, and here you go. You know what I mean? And there you go. You just want to like just dump all this venom on them. And it's like, for what? For what? Like, what do you gain out of that? What do you gain by being a bully to people? What do you gain by being foul-mouthed with people? What do you gain by being like, just a gutter snipe? Like, what do you gain by just having such a filthy mouth on people? Like, what do you, that's what I even understand. Like, people who do like gossip on YouTube, I don't even know how they do it. Cause I'm like, isn't that draining? Isn't it like vipers? Yeah. Isn't it draining to constantly run after the carcasses of someone's shortcoming? Aren't you tired of being a vulture? Of all the birds, you could potentially be a peacock, an eagle, a chicken. I mean, there's so many birds out here. You have to be the ugliest one, the dirtiest one, and the nastiest one. You have to be a vulture. You know what I mean? Of all the things you can do. I'm like, just like Candace Owens, like, how does it make you feel that people are only attracted to you because you put negativity in the universe? How does that make you feel? They only care about you when you come to destroy. How does that make you feel? Like they only come to you when you are talking bad about other people. They only watch you by the thousands when you berate other people. How does that make you feel? When you're known on the internet for insulting people. Like, how do you, I don't know. That's just, sometimes I'm like, wow, how dark is your mind? Like, how dark is your spiritual aura? How lost are you? Like, even someone like Kevin Samuels, I don't know how he does it. Like, you're just known for putting people down. People rush to your channel to see you put people down. People consume your content because, yeah, people consume your content because you just completely embarrass people and make them feel like they're not worth much. How does that make you feel? Like you're that person on the internet. Not even like in your personal life with your friends and family. Okay, you're toxic to them, but you're known on the internet globally for being a toxic human being. How does that make you feel? How does that make you feel? When you handle every disagreement or issues with people by insulting them, making fun of them, and like, what does that do for you? How sad are you truly? You know, and by not meeting Wendy at her level, it's like she really showed people like how pathetic Wendy is. And unfortunately, Wendy's not the only one. There are many more females like that who are very, very pathetic. You know what I mean? They're very pathetic. You are pathetic. Because you must not. I mean, I'm sorry. When you see people, this like Kevin Samuels, right? When you see, professional bad guys, exactly right. When you see people who get off on making other people feel bad, when you see people who get off on making other people feel like they're not worth anything, when you see people who enjoy, embarrassing people in front of a whole, like, kind of an entire assembly, you know what I mean? Like when you see that kind of stuff, when you see this kind of barbarity occurring, right? It shows you that person themselves, they don't think much of themselves. So they want you to feel how they feel on the inside. Like Kevin can wear all these fancy suits that now he can afford, and them fancy candles that now he can afford, and the Tom Ford that he can now afford because he couldn't afford that before, right? But at the end of the day, no matter how much perfume you put on, and it could be the most expensive patchouli from Tom Ford, you can wear the most exquisite suit from Rome somewhere, right? You can have the most like expensive leather shoes from Rome somewhere. But at the end of the day, you're still damaged. You're damaged. Like you are just damaged. You feel worthless. You still feel worthless. And that's why you want other people to feel worthless, because you feel worthless. Because someone told you, you know what I mean? Someone told you once in your lifetime that you weren't nothing. And then whoever that person is or whoever those people were, they said it so much that you started to believe it. And so like today, you don't think that there's any way for you to be successful without being hurtful. And that's sad. It's sad. When you, as a child growing up, as a teenager growing up, as a young adult growing up, it's sad that you never had someone hold you, love you, counsel you, embrace you, that all you thought life was about you hurt people to get on top. And they have convinced you that you're not worth much. So you find sense and purpose in this world by making people feel worthless. And that's criminal. That is criminal. It is criminal to mishandle people's souls. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like it's criminal. Like, I don't know. It's criminal to know that, like I'm dealing with a young lady who's not mentally fit or is not intellectually, assiduous. I am dealing with someone who has a lot of baggage. I am dealing with a young lady that is looking for a father figure. Like, he knows these people are vulnerable people. He's a predator. Like, that these people are very vulnerable. They are vulnerable. They are heartbroken. They are confused. They are rejected. They have a rejected spirit with them. They have an inferiority complex. They feel less than. They're not making that much money. That they are in a very, very vulnerable state. They are vulnerable. And you recognize that because that's who you used to be and that's who you still are. You just mastered the art of parading around like you're the big man and nothing phases you. But you are just like those people who call in on your show. You recognize, I don't know. You recognize that he's in those people. And to make yourself feel slightly bigger, slightly stronger, or slightly more relevant than them, you just shred these people in front of an audience. And that is criminal. It is no different than a drug dealer who's selling drugs, who sells drugs, fentanyl, whatever the stuff is, to people have lost a parent, lost someone they love, have a mental illnesses. Like, they're vulnerable people. And what they need is proper resources like counseling and coaching and love and prayers. Like, they need real love. And you finesse them with coke where they're going to feel good for 2 minutes and be high forever. You finesse them with crack where, for a few minutes, the worries will go away and that pain that the soul carries will be quieted. But eventually it comes back. But now they're addicts. You know what I mean? It's like, what kind of person creates a space where you thrive off of creating emotional dependency, off of being evil? That's why I don't even watch the Wendy show. Because it's like, what's the purpose of this? Like, maybe because I'm 36 now, but I really do ask myself, like, what is the purpose? What is the purpose of what is the purpose of your platform? What is the purpose of your words? Like, what is the purpose of your show? That's why I stopped watching Wendy. Because I'm like, this woman is not in the business of celebrating people. She's not in the business of uplifting people. You know what I mean? She's in the business of, well, I feel like crap, so let me make all of y'all feel like crap, and then I can just put my chair on your remains, and I can be the queen. And to me, that's just so sick. Even the way she handles her staff. The white lady who makes people clap, she's always mean to her. Okay? And then her husband is behind the camera. She's mean to him too. Norman, she treats him like he's stupid. When it comes to her DJs, she has no respect for them. Look how she got rid of DJ Booth, And she kept trying to draw him in so he could say bad things about Nikki. Like, what is the purpose of your channel? Like, what's the purpose of her platform? So I stopped watching this. What is this? You don't celebrate nothing. You never celebrate any Black person's accomplishment. Always want to bring people down. You know what I mean? Like, you knew the whole time your husband was expecting a child with the lady. And you did a whole family tree on Future. Did a whole family tree on Nick Cannon. Meanwhile, your own family tree was forming. I'm like, what the heck? So that's why you wanted, what's your boy's name? Nick and Future to feel bad, because in them, you saw your husband and the way he was procreating and adding branches to the family tree. Oh, this one is crazy. Nick Cannon sat there. She called his child a oops baby. I said, oh my gosh, what is wrong with this woman? I don't know. Wendy is careless. But people keep saying, oh, Auntie Wendy, Auntie Wendy. I'm like, no, the way this woman talks to people is just out of line. Wendy does not celebrate anybody. It don't matter. You could be like the black angel. She'll find something wrong about you, and then she'll say it to people and have a bunch of folks make fun of you. You know what I'm saying? No, I have to stop watching because she's just reckless. She's just reckless. She's just reckless. She's just reckless. But she'll be like, oh, when it comes to what's her name? Pat the Puss. What's her name? Girardi. What is her name? The lady. No, not Lisa. What's for the Erica Girardi? She's like, oh, I believe her. I believe her. She don't know about the money. I believe her. But it's like, okay, but you don't even know her though. But when it comes to Black people, she always has something evil or negative to say about Black people. You know what I mean? But she loves to put down her own people, which is this is also what your girl Oprah Winfrey used to do also. Very condescending to Black artists, but very uplifting to to the white ladies like Julia Roberts. Tom Cruise jumped on her couch with his shoes on, which is a no, but she let him know. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, this is crazy. You know what I mean? Yeah, like she's just wild. Like her mouth is wild. People think it's funny. So I don't know. But me, I stopped watching. Like there's a lot of things I don't even watch anymore. What is your point? What is this energy that you're trying to put out there in the world? What exactly you're trying to achieve, right? And I say, oh, it's entertainment. But my thing is, like, sometimes you watch things long enough and they become part of how you behave. They become part of your behavior. Because you start to normalize certain things, just like the Housewives shows, like Housewives Atlanta. I have to stop watching this. Even Married to Medicine, I don't really watch it. I watch like clips of it, but I can't watch an entire episode because, it's so ghetto. It's so ghetto. It's so ratchet. It's so mean. It's so disrespectful. And I'm like, you see, these people are not going to usher in good spirits in my household or in my mindset. So I don't want to watch that because if I was ever in a confrontation, I would want to handle my confrontation better than this. I would want to handle my confrontation better than that. But I'm like, these people right here, like, they don't care. They want to be the most hurt. And that's what this whole TV thing has turned into, right? Yeah. Like that's what this whole, like, that's what this whole TV show has turned into. People get on TV, people get on YouTube, and for views, everybody wants to be the most egregious, the most insulting, the most degrading, the nastiest, the meanest, have the most like evil read. And it's like, but do you realize that you're becoming a monster? Dr. Heavenly, another one. You're becoming a monster. You know what I'm saying? Because this right here, this is not healthy. And when you get to a certain place in your life, you get to have a certain age in your life, you get to have a certain occupation in your life. You know what I mean? When you have certain years of marriage, a certain amount of marriage years under your belt, you got to know how to handle things better. You got to know how, like, practice some kind of self-control. Like, you have to learn to understand. Like, you got to have some class about yourself. Like, handle things better. Have more sagacity about you. But like Dr. Heavenly, she'll fight like she's at a bar somewhere. You don't even think that you're looking at a dentist. What is this? And I'm like, and they're trying to normalize. And you see, the thing that is so perverse about Married to Medicine is that they intentionally brought what you would call like Black excellence. Like, these are all like doctors, right? And these people still act like animals. Right. And it's like, it kind of goes to show like, wow, you see, no matter how much education these Black people get, no matter how much money they make, no matter how fancy the zip code is, these Black people, these Black women will remain savages. That there's never a way to properly educate the Negro. There will never be a cure to the Negro savagery, because after all, no matter how well he tries, a Negro is a savage, and that's it, right? And I think like that's the point of shows like Married to Medicine. And I think that's another reason why Bravo has it on the roster, because it shows it's like, I don't know, it has a very racist undertone to me, right? That look, these are really rich people. They live in these fancy houses. They drive all these fancy Maseratis and Bentleys, right? But look how they are still savages. Look how they're quick to insult each other, they'll degrade each other, they'll mean each other. They'll sit there in Gucci, Prada, Louis, Fendi, and they'll act like, right, people. I don't even know where these. It's so disgusting. So I'm like, but if you were going to act this way, why even bother becoming a doctor? Because what's the point? I mean, you know what I mean? Could just stay down wherever you're from and kept acting a fool. But to have all this knowledge and all this money and still act a ghetto fool on national television for the sake of keeping it real, that to me sounds like a disease. That's a mental illness. Because keeping it real should be also keep it real according to your age. When you get to a certain age, have some class. That's keeping it real. Okay? When you're almost 60 years old, act like it. That's keeping it real. Okay? You're like 5 years away from AARP. Act according to your age. That's keeping it real. Keep it real according to your birth date, because it's too much. It's too much. I'm like, these people belong in the streets. You know what I mean? No, like, yeah, like people belong. He said, "Why you to become a? I don't be no roast queen. No, I don't want that." You know what I mean? No, it's true, because they don't show you how, like, these shows normalize being educated and ratchet. And it's like, then what's the point? Because the whole point of being a knowledgeable individual is that it allows you to like morph into a better person. What's the point of having all this education? And between your educated behind and this girl over here who has a high school education and works God knows where, both of you guys act the same. If you didn't know anything about Dr. Heavenly just off of her behavior, you would never assume that this lady was a professional dentist. You would never assume that she lived in a multi-million-dollar home or whatever. You would never assume that her son is like doing like dentistry. Her other son's doing pre-med. I don't know what her daughter's going to do. You would never assume that, because she acts like she has no sense. She acts like she has no home training. She acts like she's never been anywhere. It's unbelievable. You know what I mean? It's unbelievable. So you got to think about that. Why come on TV to be the worst representation of yourself and of your people? You could have stayed at home. You could have stayed at home. You truly and honestly could have stayed home. Okay, and that's what Auntie Monique was going to say, right? Like, if you're not going to step outside, hey man, yeah, if you're not going to step outside and still be the best representation of yourself, your people, and your culture, stay home. Please stay home, because you do all of us a disfavor. Stay home. Do not go on national TV and make us look like that. Just like there's this other lady. Bun says, yes, we're still talking about Wendy. Just like there's this other lady, right? Oh my gosh, you guys. Florida. Are you ready for this? She went on TV for being the first African-American woman in that place in Florida to own a gas station. She had a BP gas station, right? So the news people went there, did a whole documentary on her and put that on TV and said, oh, she's the first Black woman. She's the first African-American woman to own a BP gas station. No, that's what's up, baby. Tell me why 3 months later, she's right back on the same network, on the same news program, because now she got arrested for being a queen pin, a drug dealer. Oh, do you guys remember we introduced her to y'all last time as the first African-American woman to have a BP gas station in this area? Well, now she's under federal indictment for being a drug dealer, a drug seller with fentanyl. And I'm like, sis, if you know that you're into this kind of stuff, why would you go on TV to represent the rest of us? Don't do it. I'm like, oh my gosh. Because now it's like, they're like, oh, you see, so now if you see a Black person with a gas station, most likely it's the drugs. You see what I'm saying? Like, if you know that you're doing bad things, you know what I mean? Because she was doing like fentanyl, all kinds of stuff. And on top of that, she was using the telephone. She was texting people about this stuff. She was answering phone calls about the stuff. I'm like, you who don't have burner phones, like, you don't watch, like, what was that show with the Breaking Bad? Like, you don't watch all these drug shows, like, they tell you, like, have a burner phone, use the pay phone, don't use your cell phone. You don't watch the stuff. Why are you doing this? I'm like, why would you go on TV and do this to us? If you know that you're not legitimate, if you know that you are not financing this business legitimately, do not go on TV and brag about being the first Black person, first African-American person to do X, Y, and Z. Because when they catch you, they're going to drag everyone into your mess. Don't do that. You know, because on top of that, too, the issue was, I think like 2 years ago, her husband said he was making like $5,000. And then she said that she was making no money, right? And then in 2020, she moved $1 million. I'm like, you people didn't watch Power. Like you're selling drugs. You cannot put drug money in the bank account. And these people are making wire transfers. They're transferring money like it's legitimate money. I said, oh Jesus, listen. If you want to be dumb and ignorant and black, can you do it from the privacy of your home? And no one what's happened to my computer. And be anonymous. Don't. But she was so bold. Like she went on the thing. And she's like, oh yes. And she was all proud. And she was opening up these refrigerators and the drinks. And she was in her office signing checks. Like she was legitimate, knowing damn well she was a drug dealer. Receiving all these accolades as the first African American to, I'm like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? If you want to look bad, can you please look bad on your own and look bad within the privacy of your home? Heck, look bad in your neighborhood. Like, don't come on TV with this mess. You got to think about like how your actions affect other people. Like, don't do this. You know, I'm like, how do you go from like 2019? Your husband said he only made $5,000 in the taxes. You said you made no money. How did you make over like all these millions of dollars in 1 year? How? Because that's how it started. The IRS stuff started because they didn't understand how'd you get all this money. And I'm like, do you not know when you transfer money, like all these banks let the IRS know that you're moving money? You really thought you could transfer millions of dollars from his account to your account to his account, make all these deposits with no job. You have no job. You collect benefits. How did you get all this money? Where is this money coming from? And then on top of that, and that's really how they turned it on, because when they did the report on her being the first African-American woman to own a BP gas station, it sent some red flags. Oh, who is this woman? How did she get the money? And that's when they started digging. I'm like, you see this? Had you done your stuff quietly, without trying to brag, without trying to seem legitimate, when you know dang well you're not legitimate, they would probably let you alone. I don't even know. He said this is why they have Bitcoins. Yes, she used the money from the drugs to buy the gas station, trying to be legitimate. But the problem is she didn't watch the money properly. You can't just put it in the bank. You can't sell drugs, make $500,000, and then go to the bank where you don't have a job that pays you that. You don't have a business. Where is this money coming from? And then like they even had helicopters like over like her like the house she was selling from, and another strip club that she was selling out of. They looked at her phone records. She was typing it. She was texting about it. She was talking voice over it. So they had like all her stuff. They had all the, oh my gosh, the transcript from her phone conversations. Like they had all of that going on, right? I'm like, oh my gosh. So if you want to look bad, please look bad from the confines of your own home. Don't drag us into your mess, okay? We love you dearly, but please don't put us into this. Oh, thank you, Melissa. Don't do that, you know? And I'm like, and like a lot of Black people who have platforms, who have huge platforms, who reach out to a lot of people daily with your messages, your pictures, your content. Please be mindful of what you're feeding people who look like you. Okay, please be mindful of what you're recommending to your own people. You have the power to influence people. That's why they call you influencers. You have the power to really impress people, influence people. Be mindful to what you sell to people. Even like these tummy teas and whatever these stupid ads, whatever. Like even these partnerships that you take on with companies, whatever, for money. You know what I mean? If it's not going to be to the benefit of your audience, if it's a scam, if it's an MLM, don't invite Black people in it. Don't put Black people in trouble. Like enough of us are already in trouble. Enough of us already have issues. Don't pile on. Because you're Black people gonna trust you more. Because you feel familiar. Don't take advantage of your skin color. Don't take advantage of the fact that you are Black amongst Black people and they trust you. Don't do that to your own people. Don't do that. Don't promote stuff that doesn't work. Don't promote laxative to people and act like, oh, it's going to make you lose weight when it's truly a laxative that they can just buy at Walmart. Don't do that to your people. You know what I mean? Don't do that. That's what I said earlier. What is the devil trying to make you eat? You know what I mean? You can't afford to eat your own integrity. You got to have integrity. Like your name is all you got. Seriously. You come with your name, you die with you. That's really like everything else, you can't take it with you. You know, like have integrity. Like think about the stuff you say and think about how the stuff you say it affects people. You know what I mean? Stop teaching Black people to be drawn to negativity. Stop teaching Black people that all we're good for is gossip, being mean to each other, talking bad. Inspire Black people to be positive people. Inspire Black people to speak good about themselves and about other Black people. Inspire Black people to celebrate themselves and to celebrate the accomplishments of other Black people. Be a person who builds a bridge between people. Don't destroy bridges. You know what I mean? Bring people together. Bring people who look like you together. Be someone like when you speak and you say things like you actually ease the tension in the room. Like be a balm, be a soothing voice for people. Bring people together. Encourage people to forgive each other because life is short. We never know. Live a life like you actually have a positive impact on people. So that if you die, you're going to be remembered for something good. You know what I'm saying? Don't just be bad just because you think it's cute to be bad. It's not. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. You're too grown for that. It's not cute. It's not cute. Walking around with bad attitude, acting crazy at your age. It is not cute. It is really not cute. And it makes people not want to get to know you. When maybe you have so much to offer. Like you could really be a sweet person. You could really be an awesome person. You could really be like, you could have a lot of potential. But if you're unpleasant, you're unkind, you're unloving, well, I don't know what to tell you. But a lot of people are not going to give you a chance. So live the way you would want others to treat you and heal from your trauma. If you have trauma from your childhood, from whatever trauma you have, please find the help you need. Hey, Lacey, find the help that you need and heal yourself before you become a poison to everybody else. It's not fair. It's not fair that you have to go through trauma, but it's also not fair that other people have to deal with someone who's not well and refuses to seek treatment. Go get the help you need and heal from within. Heal from within so that you can be someone that's just like, it's just a dope, like be a sweet person. Be a kind person. Be a loving person. Be a good friend, a good sister, a good wife, a good friend, a good husband, a good buddy, a good partner, a good listener. Be good. I know it can feel like, good people finish last. I don't think so. They don't get there as fast as they could, though, but they get there eventually. And meanwhile, the bad people who got there quickly, they're easily forgotten. Be a good person. Be a good person. In all your ways, be a good person. Be a good person. And treat people well. Yeah, treat people well. Be a good person. Be a good person. I don't know what to say, you guys. Be a good person. And for everybody here that's an entrepreneur, that works for themselves, like you have your own business, especially if you're a woman, it's a very hard. It's a very hard. It's a very expensive. It feels very lonely. It's a very challenging. It can even get depressing at some time. Girl, it gets real, it gets real. But I want to encourage you to succeed. Okay, I want to encourage you to push forward. I want to encourage you to be motivated. I want to encourage you to believe in yourself. I want to encourage you to dream big and dream bigger. You know what I mean? The more money challenges you, the more you need to dream bigger. Don't shrink your dream because the money's looking funny. No, the more the money looks funny, the more you have to expand the dream. Make the dream even more expensive just because it costs more money. You know what I mean? Don't give up. And if some people said you wouldn't make it, if some people had bad things to say about you, if some people try to curse you, pray for them. Forgive them. May the Lord forgive them too, because you are going to make it. You're going to make it beautifully. You're going to make it with ease. You're going to have a special favor over your business, okay? You're going to have special favor on your hands, that everything you touch will prosper, abundantly prosper. Okay. And when people receive your products or people receive your services or people receive anything that comes from you, they will be blessed. Not just blessed because the product is good, but like the anointing that comes with your stuff. Like it's just going to make people feel like, I don't know what it is, but there's something special about this thing. I love it. You know what I'm saying? That makes sense. Like, yeah, I love this. Oh yeah, I really do love this. Ooh, this is awesome. Hey, stay hungry. Does that make sense? So it's like, you're going to make it. And once you realize that you're going to make it no matter what, it becomes so much easier to forgive people. Forgive anyone who has trespassed against you. Forgive anyone who's had something mean to say to you, about your business, about what you do. You know what I mean? Forgive anyone who's never been a real friend, but you were being a real friend to them. No, it's okay. It's okay. Everything is okay because you're going to make it. You're going to make it big. You're going to make it very well. You will make it plentifully. Like you will be abundant. You know what I'm saying? You're going to be abundant. You're going to be successful. Your dreams will come to pass. I'm finding myself in 2021, things that I wanted in 2018. I didn't even know how those things were possible. I'll show you. But they came out of nowhere, came together. I was like, oh my gosh. But I remember how hard it was. Like, dang. How hard it was, and I felt so defeated. Oh my gosh, when am I going to get out this hole? When am I going to make it? When am I going to see the light? When is everything finally going to come together? I'm tired of missing pieces all the time. Have you ever felt that way? Maybe I should do a podcast on that. I'm tired of missing pieces. You know what I mean? I'm just tired of missing pieces. I want all my pieces together. But guess what? You know what I mean? It's gonna come together. I'm seeing like dreams I had in 2019 coming together in like 2021. You know what I mean? And it shows you like God is faithful. Stop stressing. And maybe if I hadn't stressed so much, I would have heard his voice so much better. So I encourage you to stop stressing. Stop stressing. Stressing, like Philippians 4 says, stressing, worry, anxiety, it does nothing. It fixes nothing. So what's the point? When you feel like getting worried, when you feel like getting anxious, when you feel like you want to, is it going to work out? Can I just ask you to praise God? Can I just ask you to remember all the days you thought you would make it and you made it anyways? Why would today be any different? We're going to make it anyway. We're going to be all right. You know what I'm saying? You're going to make it. Oh, you're going to make it big. You're going to make it big. But you know what, though? When you make it, you're going to be so gracious. You're going to be gracious because you're the daughter of the Most High God. Your anointing was not for sale. It was giving and appointed at the right time. You know what I mean? You're going to be gracious. Gracious. You're not going to seek to be vindictive or get even with people. Instead, you'll give to those who refuse to give to you because you know what it feels like to not have. You'll be like a tree that denies its shades to no one. You really think about the tree. I probably need to do a video about that, but you really think about the tree and how generous the tree is because you don't have to sow the seed. You don't have to water the tree. But that tree, when he becomes big and his branches extend and these leaves, he'll give his shade to anyone. Shade to dogs who piss on the tree. You know what I mean? Robbers, thieves, good people, bad people. The tree does not deny its shade to anyone. Because it's the tree, and that's what a tree does. It protects, right? And so you shall be like the mighty cedar tree of Lebanon. That the Bible says, right? But you will be successful. You're going to be gracious. And that's my prayer for all my people who watch me, whether you watch me consistently or not. I pray that you be that that champagne, like that fine champagne of success, like that. Good to the palate, sweet to the palate. Like when people talk about you and your journey, they have nothing but good things to say about you. You know what I mean? Yeah. Oh, thank you, baby. No, it's true. When you're not there and people talk about you, they're like, oh my gosh, have you met Dawn? She's such an amazing woman. Let the testimonies of like your sweet soul, your gentleness, your kindness, like let them pile up when you're not in the room. You know what I mean? Be so successful and yet so humble. Deny no one if you can help them. Whether they helped you when you needed it or not, it's okay. Don't pay back evil with evil. And no need. There's no need. Don't pay somebody insult for insult. It's okay. Some people, that's just how they know how to express themselves, is insulting people, because that's all they've ever known is insult. And that's cheap currency, right? In the kingdom, we don't use that. That's a very cheap currency. So it's like, okay, I understand. You're not from this kingdom. You're from over there. Yeesh, the ghetto. Talking about the ghetto. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Baby, this is expensive. Hashtag, I'm blessed. Okay. So yeah, you're going to be successful. You're going to make it. Don't let life jade you. Don't let disappointment, heartbreaks, people slamming doors in your face. It's okay. Don't let people underestimating you because you're Black or because of your appearance. It's okay. They don't know any better. They don't know any better. The majority of people in this world are blind anyways. They have eyes, yet they can't see nothing. Because they were always told to look for the wrong things. When you were told to look for money, cars, bling, bling, you know what I mean? You miss out the most beautiful thing in life, right? Which is seeing the beautiful soul of a person. So it's okay. People have been out here blinded since birth. It's nothing personal. No, thank you, lady. Oh, thank you, Drea. No, it's true. Some people have been blinded since birth, sis. So it's not you. They don't see. They don't even see themselves. So it's like, yeah, I get it. I'm going to pray for you. I really am going to pray for you. Some people have been blinded. Blinded by their own pain, blinded by poverty, blinded by God knows what. You know what I'm saying? No, they can't accept you because they were never taught. People don't even taught to accept them. So, a lot of times you think people are rejecting you. They're rejecting themselves. It's nothing personal. That's what I've come to find out. You know what I'm saying? They're not rejecting you per se. They're rejecting themselves because they don't feel adequate enough. And sometimes, sometimes people are mean to you because they really wish they could have your life. They truly wish they could have your light. They truly wish they could have your spirit. They truly wish that you would be their friend. Sometimes people even look up to you. And it's like, the way they look up to you or admire you, it turns into this weird jealousy. It's like, oh my gosh, this is so weird. You're really strange. You're very, very strange, right? That's how some people are. But they truly want to be your friend. They truly admire you. Like, they truly want your friendship. But it's like the way you're confident with yourself, it's like it just makes them feel so small. And they shouldn't feel like that, right? But when you make room for the devil to confuse you, he sure will. You know what I mean? Only the devil can cause this kind of confusion. And if you got the right ear for the devil, then yes, that's what he's going to do to you. But there are a lot of people who are mean to you. They truly want your friendship. I'm telling you, it sounds crazy, right? Yeah, because it is crazy. A lot of people want your friendship. A lot of people want you around, but they don't know how to say it because they're intimidated about you. But yet you don't even do anything. You're like, what the heck? There's nothing like, but it intimidates them how confident you are. Because confident people are intimidating to a lot of people. What makes her so confident? She doesn't have all this money. She doesn't have all this followers. She doesn't have this. Why is she so confident? And you say, oh, but it's just God. And when you say God, oh, that drives them even more crazy. Like, oh gosh, here she is trying to play me for a fool. It's like, no, God makes me confident. I have everything I need because I know God has me. What is there to worry about? You know what I mean? What is there to worry about? That's why I say my sister's like, worry about nothing. I kid you not. I am seeing I said, wow. The reason why I started having issues, financial issues too, because I panicked. If I knew now what I knew then, I'd be like, oh, it's going to be okay. He's going to figure this out. I panicked. So in the panic mode, I try to fix things and I just end up making a bigger mess. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is too much of a mess. I don't know what to do. You know what I mean? But it's like, panic not, stay still. God, it's slowly but surely, like the picture is going to look clear. Like you're going to see a way out of this. Panic not. There's an exit sign somewhere. Like there's an exit somewhere. But when you panic, you can't even see. And then sometimes it's like the answer is like right there, but you're panicking. So you can't see it, but it's like it's right there. So this is why now I choose to not panic. I said, don't panic. Don't even say anything negative. Keep your mouth shut. Drink some water, take a nap. Because when you wake up, your nerves will be calmer. Because sometimes out of nervousness, we can say things that we shouldn't say. You know what I mean? So sometimes it's like, the best thing you can do is to stay calm. You're afraid, drink some water, go to sleep. telling you, when you wake up, you'll be more calm. Then you can hear the Holy Spirit a lot better. But when you're panicking and you're scared, it's hard. It's hard because your flesh is so scared. And when the flesh is scared, you can't make good decisions, right? So I was like, don't panic. It's all going to come together. I'm like, seriously, it's unbelievable. You're like, what? What? It all comes together when it does, right? But you don't have to force it though. Don't force it. It will come together. I remember we're trying to make one of the bottles like for the bee collection, and they're like, oh, they can't do this, they can't. They were being so negative. I was so confused. Then they ended up dumping me. Like, oh, well, if you want to, go find another supplier. Because I think they thought I couldn't find another supplier. I said, okay. Then I didn't really think about it. I was like, whatever, when the time is right, God's gonna bring the right person. I don't even know how, but I found the supplier, and the person did it just like this. Okay, we can do it. Boom. I was like, oh my gosh. Because I learned everything is in its season, right? Everything happens in its due season. You can have a dream, but sometimes you're gonna be pregnant for a minute, right? Because it might not be the season. But when that season comes out, it's like when you've had a child, but the second baby, the third baby, you push them out so much easier. Like once your water breaks after like the second kid, child, it's a lot easier, right? But it's like, yeah, you might be pregnant forever, and then you're tired. But when it's time to push that stuff out, boom, 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 boom. Like the stuff, it just comes out. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is what I wanted 2 years ago. This is what I wanted 3 years ago. This is what I wanted like 6 months ago. This is, and like now it's like boom, 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 boom. Like I remember when things used to be so difficult, and now like things are like so much easier. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. Why? Because I don't panic. Because I know if it came into my head, it means I was approved. I'm gonna get it. You know what I mean? You know, if something crosses your head, if God gives you an idea, it's like a loan. You've been approved. So it's going to happen. You've been approved. That's why it came through your mind. Because if it wasn't meant for you, you never would have thought about it. So if you thought about it, it means you've been approved. You know what I'm saying? It means you've been approved. So I'm like, oh, wow. I didn't know like that. But it's like, it might take time for you to get it though. But it's yours. Like, calm. Don't like, oh, when's it gonna come? When's it gonna come? That's not for you to worry about. Just say, you know what? I'm so grateful that you picked me for this. You know what I mean? You know, I'm so grateful that you picked me for this. I'm so grateful that you picked me for this. I can't wait when this is gonna come to pass, and I trust you that it will come to pass, right? So it's like, yeah. You know, but like sometimes also like if you have issues at work like that, people always attack you. There's a work at the job that you're supposed to do, right? And it's to love these people. And it's like, what the heck? But it's to pray for them, and it's to love them. Because one thing I've realized, I'm gonna cut this soon, but one thing I've realized is that sometimes and many times when you have an assignment for people, right? When people are meant to be your assignment, when people are meant to get close to you for deliverance, for prayers, for whatever you're supposed to do, right? The devil always attacks that relationship. And usually it starts off very, very contentious. It starts off very, very contentious. Like, because I don't know if it's, I don't know, but I really think it's the devil, the demons that live in them that just can't stand the light that you bring. And they know that if this human being spends a lot of time with you, they're going to be set free. And the devil does not want to set anybody free. You know what I mean? The devil does not want to set anybody free. So what he does is he creates issues between you and that person so that you will have a strong dislike for them as opposed to praying for them. And that's why we got to move in the spirit, not in the flesh. Lacey said, my first year of marriage, I told my husband I wanted a clothing store. It took 11 years to get started. Nothing happens before it's time. Amen. You know what I mean? She said, yes, if Harry Potter can be in #1 book, so can mine. It's going to happen. Exactly. Even the man who wrote Game of Thrones. I think the guy who wrote Game of Thrones, for the longest, nobody paid attention to his book. Child, do you know how long that book was sitting there? No one cared until those producers took it and turned it into a movie. Then it just went crazy. You know, so sometimes it's like God will tell you to do something and you're like, when is this going to pop off? You know what I mean? You can sit on an investment for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years before you see any fruit. But you went crazy though. You heard what you heard. But it's everybody's blessing, it germinates at a different speed. You know what I mean? But remember how I told you guys, I was like, oh, what did I say? I was like, oh, I really want to do like luxury real estate. Remember, I said I want to do luxury real estate, and I wanted because I want to do luxury real estate, especially like in Africa, like on the coast where the water is. I want to have like these luxury hotels and like luxury villas. Like that's just something that I want to do, And so I called my uncle to see if he could get me some land, and he got me some good land. He was like, oh, Martin, I got you like 25 acres of this, and the prices are crazy. I don't even know if he finished the book, But I'm like, wow, it's coming together. Now, is it don't, I mean, it's because Mom was like, oh, because he got me like almost like 7 acres of land by the Mediterranean. I said, oh my gosh, someone like me is going to own land by the Mediterranean. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. Because my dad is from in Ivory Coast, my dad is from the water. So like his village is technically like the beach. Like it's so beautiful. So I was like, okay, how much? Like I'm gonna start saying this. I was like, by December, I got to pay off this land because I need to have it. Right now, is there gonna be much out of it? No, but listen, at least it's mine. But it's like slowly but surely you can build it. And I told my dad, because remember we went for my brother's wedding, right? Went for my brother's wedding, and I said, went to Santa Monica. So I said to my dad, like, I want to do the same thing, like where people can bring their private yachts, like from all around the world, but especially like from Europe or whatever, they can actually bring their private yachts and stuff like that. And he was like, but Marlene, you're going to have to build a marina. I said, Daddy, I'm going to have the money. Don't worry about it. I said, it's the vision. He's like, okay, here you go. My dad, my dad likes to be very practical. Me, I dream very big, but I'm like, yes, I see it. Cause I'm like, that place like Bali, people used to not go there. They like I watched the thing and the guy was like back in the day to vacation in Bali was like $13 a night. And now that one specific hotel, they used to charge $13 a night. Now I think they charge like $5,000 a night. You see this? So yes, you can start at $13 and then one day your price gonna go up. In the words of Jay-Z, you hear that? That's the price going up. Okay. So that's that, right? And even like in writing your book, let's just say like your first book is now like a #1 hit seller. Who cares? Write some more. Write some more. And then write again. And then write again. Write. If you're a writer, just write. Don't even put this whole bestseller. Just write because you love writing it. Write. Receive it. Receive the stories that, the universe wants to send to you. Receive those stories that God wants you to write about. And just write. Write one book, then write the second book and write. But the thing is, just enjoy the process. It's not just about the accolades, but it's like, just enjoy the process. I said I was going to write and now I'm writing and I'm enjoying it and I love it. You know what I mean? And as you write, like picture the people being happy, right? Picture the people being happy. Picture the people like loving your book. Picture the people enjoying your book, right? Just write because it feels good to write. And some days you're like, okay, I just want to write. Just write about whatever. And maybe like in the time that you're writing the book, you might want to write poetry or you might want to write music. I don't know. Allow your mind to do what it wants to do. You know what I'm saying? Because I work the same way. I could start working on a collection. Then I'm like, I'm tired. So then I'll start working another collection. So it comes off like I'm distracted, but I'm really not distracted. I'm just letting my mind be free because I know that's how it works best. Because if it wants to do something, I'm like, okay, let's go explore it. Then I'll get tired of that. And then it wants to come back and then we'll finish it. Right. That is what I do because I recognize like, I'm just a vessel really. It's more like, I don't want to say like it's a spirit, but I guess it's a spirit, but there's a spirit that comes in within me. Like when I start creating and that spirit, I allow that spirit to be free. I don't try to control it. Oh, well, you got to do this and that. I allow it to be free because I know ultimately it's going to give me beautiful ideas. So I trust it. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I just trust it, So we'll go here, then we'll come back this way. But it's like eventually like everything finishes up. And then I know like my dad's like, oh, Marlene, when are you gonna be done with all this and like that? You trust the process, Sounds like I'm crazy. I'm not crazy. I know what I'm doing. Right. But that's what creativity is. It pulls you in different directions. So you could want to write this kind of book. And then as you're writing that kind of book, you might want to write poetry or something like that. Explore that. You know what I mean? Because if you enjoy it, then when you come back, you're refreshed. Because sometimes you need to take a little break so that when you come back, you really love what you're doing, and then you come back with fresher eyes. So, or you might want to write music, or you might want to do something else. It's okay. Like, be free. You know what I mean? Yeah, be free, but just write. Just write. Until one day, I'm telling you, like, the more you respect that stuff, one day your brain's just gonna click, and it's like then you're gonna become unstoppable. You know what I mean? You're gonna become unstoppable. You know what I mean? And it's like you never know, and that's the beauty, right? That's the beauty of like having faith. Is not knowing where this is going to lead. It could be a New York Times bestseller. It could turn into a play on Broadway. It could turn into a movie. It can turn into something on Netflix. It can turn into a non-for-profit. I mean, you don't know. And I've come to realize that's the part we all need to enjoy, the not knowing part. Because the world says you have to know where you're going to land. Faith says, why do you need to know? Just take the journey with me. I'll take you somewhere good. And that's it. Like, the journey is going to take you somewhere good. You know what I mean? Because you never know. But you have to write, because you know what I mean? That's that mind. Like, you just gotta let the spirit of creativity like just take over. But there's so many things. You know what I mean? There's so many things. You know, like your girl, what's your girl's name? Shonda Rhimes. She's a writer. She doesn't write like to become like that girl Danielle Steele's though. But her writing is powerful. Look at all the show like Scandal, Grey's Anatomy, da. She's a powerful writer because she writes for entertainment. Shonda Rhimes is rich, y'all. She rich. Shonda Rhimes is nothing to play with. You know what I mean? Like she's very, very rich. So it's like you have to don't be so focused on the destination, because God will always surprise you with the destination. Just enjoy the fact that you are creative and let it take you wherever it wants to take you, but it will take you somewhere good. And that's all you need to know. That's it. And that's the same thing for me. I just like, whatever. It'll take me somewhere good. And it's like, and it's not money driven. It's not, but I just know it'll take me somewhere good. And that's all I want you to know. Like, if I write this, it will take me somewhere good. And wherever it takes me, I'm okay with that. And you see, and once you put that out there for God, the angels, the universe, oh, they're like, oh yeah, that's what we're talking about, right? Okay. It's on. But when you try to like, oh, it gotta take me here, take me there, you take the pleasure of surprise that I think God has an element of surprise that he likes to do. You know how when you want to make a surprise for somebody, but they keep asking you, what you gonna do? How you gonna do it? How you gonna do it? Like, it takes the joy out of even making, okay, fine, this is whatever, because you get on my nerves, right? But I just feel like if you say, you know what, God, I just know that this is gonna take me somewhere good. You know what I'm saying? I just know this is going to take me somewhere good. I'm going to end up somewhere good. Oh, yes. That's all you need to know. It's going to be good. Whatever it looks like, it's going to be phenomenal. That's it. You know what I mean? That's it. And you're going to enjoy it. You can write cards. You can write. There's so much to writing, right? You can even do like motivational cards for people. That's a form of writing. You can write poetry. You know, you can write daily affirmations for people. Just write, period. You can do short stories. You can, I don't know, but just write. That's it. And just like, it's going to take me somewhere good. That's it. Like, just like me, I'm like, these collections, they're going to take me somewhere good. Just like even with this mirror thing, right? You know, this mirror's going to take me somewhere good. That's why it came. And I was like, okay, cool. Let's go for it. Everything is going to take you somewhere good. You're just gathering like the pieces of the puzzle right now. Like, but ultimately, like, it's all going to take you somewhere good. So start the journey and be free. It's not for money. God blesses us in ways that are way bigger than money. It's courage. Like, you know, me today, like the thing I pray for the most is not even money, although it doesn't hurt to have money, but I truly pray for courage. Pray for courage, because that's worth a lot. For courage. Courage even when I don't see anything. Courage even when I don't understand how this is all gonna come together. Like, courage even when I'm scared. Courage when no one has done this before. Courage when no one in my family understands what I'm doing. Courage when I hear your voice and it seems like no one else in the room is hearing your voice. Courage when it looks like these waves are going to drown me. Courage when you are taking me to take this one step, then this next step. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just courage in the darkness. Somebody needs to write this book, right? Courage in the darkness. Like, what does that look like? You know what I mean? And that's what we pray for. Let it be as dark as it possibly could be. But it's like that faith that's in you, like that courage that you got, it illuminates everything from within. So you have nothing to fear. Amen. So that's it, my people. I hope this video was helpful. I hope you liked it. You know what I mean? But I just want you to know, I pray that you and your family are incredibly successful. I pray that whatever you work on, that it truly benefits your family, benefits not just like you and your kids, your husband, like, but your whole, like your extended family. You know what I mean? I pray that your children will speak well about you when you're gone and speak of how you were brave and courageous. You know what I mean? I pray that your grandchildren, your great grandchildren, you know what I mean, will be blessed because of your sacrifices, will be blessed because of your faith, will be blessed because of your courage, right? Whether you become a rich woman or not, let people always say that you are a woman of courage. Amen. A woman of courage. Be courageous all the time to the best of your abilities. And when you can't, and when you feel like you don't have it, ask the Holy Spirit to restore you plentifully in the name of Jesus, right? But have courage all the time. Have courage all the time. Have courage as much as you can. Be courageous as much as you can, and eventually the devil's gonna have to get out your way and things will become easier. And then you'll be able to take your life and like inspire other people to have more, thank you, babe, to have more courage. Like, be very courageous. Life, it takes courage to get there. Be courageous, dream big. Dream big. Even as how you want to write, whether it's like the honors, whatever, you could probably even have a publishing house, right? You could have a publishing house. You could have a production studio. Like, dream really big. Dream big like Bishop Jakes and Tyler Perry. You know what I mean? I was like, God, I need to buy land next to Tyler Perry and Bishop Jakes, right? Like, dream really big, and save all your dreams. Like, write all your dreams and rejoice because they're your dreams. And one day, little by little, they're all going to come to pass. So help you, God. So help us, God. So with that being said, my people, I love you. Have an awesome Friday. I hope you have a great, you're welcome, baby. I hope you have a great Friday. Amen. Tomorrow. Hope you have a great night. I hope you have beautiful dreams. Also, if you do have beautiful dreams, wake up in the morning, please write them down. It's probably a sign. Trust them. Trust yourself. And yeah, that's it. Hopefully I'll see y'all tomorrow. I don't know what time though, but I'll try to come on at this time tomorrow. Okay. And be blessed, be safe, be brave, dream big. Like, every day, feed yourself. Like, I want you to look like at beautiful houses, watch like beautiful vacation places, like, just enjoy. Dream really big. Like, dream big. Like, dream of like your warehouse, dream of trucks, dream of customers you don't even have yet. Dream big. Like, oh, sweet honey for the soul. Dream, just dream. Okay. Love y'all. And I'll see you guys later. Bisous.